just cuts all this shit out.
Look at that.
Hurry up.
I got squirted on. Okay.
Anyways.
Oh my god.
Well, that's as good a place to start as any.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the Calibrated cast once again. I am Ani, one of your 3 co-hosts.
I'm John. I'm Matt.
And today we have a very special guest. Our good friend Alex. She's also on the Texas State powerlifting team. She's a 57 kilo lifter.
Yes.
Why don't you run through your stats just real quick?
Well, my last meet, I did 230 something for my squat, 265 for deads, and 137 for my second attempt. But I'm hoping for like higher stuff, obviously, this upcoming meet. But yeah, I'm officially a 56 kg lifter now because USAPL switched. But I've been lifting for a year in March actually for powerlifting. Like lifting, I was lifting since November. Basically, like consistently training.
November of 2020?
Yeah, like I've lifted all through high school and stuff, but I was really consistent November to this upcoming November, which is a year, and now powerlifting focused more of March. So it'll be a year next month, and I'm excited.
Gosh.
I know.
Really?
She lifts for a year, and the meet that she's talking about is Collegiate Nationals. So you lifted for 1 year and qualified for Collegiate Nationals.
I mean, I don't know. I just got lucky.
Didn't get lucky. You went to a meet and you lifted away.
You really qualifying told her.
I don't think luck was involved.
Me and my last year, Bobina.
Stop. Don't
Bro, I lose eligibility in January, so.
That's what I'm saying, Bobina.
Y'all gonna get raw. Y'all gonna raw open.
Hey, I got 1 more year.
That's
One
true.
more year. He's gonna make it.
You're close
He's
to
really
it.
not that far off.
We'll talk about that maybe a little bit later. But is there any intro questions we want to start getting?
I mean, just like with John, and when we asked him, is mostly where did like the fitness journey begin? It doesn't have to be weightlifting or powerlifting. It just kind of like
what
when did you
sparked that
start?
interest?
Like in powerlifting or just
No, in general.
In general, like starting your fitness journey, whether it's like maybe it's like with sports or something like where it started with. Somehow it started fitness.
I feel like I've always been pretty like active and athletic. Like I grew up with all my brothers, so we were always playing football, going outside playing basketball, baseball, whatever it was. So it's like growing up, I was always like out there doing stuff. I think I started like doing sports when I was in middle school. I started like softball. I started to like running, so I would do that on my own. High school, I did softball for 2 years. Then I did cross country, and then track. And then it was I always lifted in softball in like middle school, obviously, but I didn't like stick with it and with running, obviously. And then my senior year, I was like, I wanted to get into it because like I was just having a bad correlation with food and like body image stuff and stuff like that. Because with cross country and track, I was always the biggest girl. Like I wasn't like slow, but I was always the bigger frame girl, and everybody would notice that. Like parents were like, "Oh, you lost a lot of weight, but like you're still like your numbers are pretty good for your size." And I'm like, "Oh."
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? But no, like I started that in like November-ish, October-ish, and then I just was like lifting, just like, oh god, I'm so bad. And look back at the videos now because they pop up on like 1 year ago, and I'm like, But no, I started that. Just like I was always active, but I started lifting, and then powerlifting kind of came up with the mock meet in April. I competed at that, and then that was when I was like, no, I want to powerlift. I want to keep this going, and then I have. And I came here and I tried out for the team, and I made some pretty cool peeps. But yeah, no.
Was there anybody that you like when you went to the gym? And how did you hear about the mock meet? And like, was there anybody that you look up to in the powerlifting like sort of sphere? Maybe people that you looked like when you worked out with at the time that kind of like was like, hey, why don't you do this meet, or like just like give me your finspos, right?
My finspos. Oh my god, there's so many. I think that the first couple people that I saw like powerlifting wise like on my Instagram was like I think one of them was a big one was Brianna Terry, because she was the first like woman I saw on my Instagram that had broader shoulders and like a smaller torso, and I was always looking at all these people. I was like, they don't have broad shoulders. They're built, but it's like they don't. I was like, she was the first person I like compared myself to, and I was like, oh, it's okay to have bigger shoulders and be proud of them. You know what I'm saying? It was her, like Stacy Burr.
Stacy Burr,
freaking gym.
yeah.
And then obviously in my gym, like there's Abby. Shout out to Abby. Ksenia, oh my god. Just like there's a bunch of them. I just can't name all of them. But a big one was Brianna Terry and Stacy Burr for sure. Hunter Henderson I came up across also, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's big. But no, those were definitely like my finspos. And when it comes down to the mock meet, I followed the page. They'd be posting it and stuff like
Which
that.
page was that?
Oh, the Texas State powerlifting page. Plug in the handle right here. But I was following the page, and then like
on TV.
no, but I was just following the page, and then I kept seeing it, and Itzy would actually text me like she's like, hey, are you going? Because I think we texted a few times before, and I think she texted me like, hey, are you doing the mock meet? I was like, yeah. And so I was super excited, did that, and then vibe with everybody. I was like, this is a cool sport. I want to kind of stick with it. But yeah, no, I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I ended up here.
I think I remember, like, I hear the story was like y'all were initially trying to try out, like, whenever, I think it was when I tried out. I think that's what it was. And then they were like, you're not even, are you at Texas State? And they were like, what year are you on? And you're like, I'm still in high school.
Yeah. Because that's what they told us. They were like, oh yeah, like you come try out. And then they're like, oh, you're not registered for this semester. Y'all gotta come back when school starts. I'm like,
that was the thing I was thinking of. I was like, oh, they're not even Texas State students yet. I was like, oh, I was wondering where they are. I was like, they were pretty shy. I was like, where'd they go? They're like, they're high school. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
All right, never mind.
You gotta wake up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Good times.
But I remember it was held at the SB.
Shout out to Garrett.
Shout out Dan. But I remember it was held at SB, and then when they had that charity event, and was it that initial meet, like that mock meet, where you kind of like, that's the thing that hit you where you're like, you know what, I actually like powerlifting?
It definitely was that meet, because like I was like, because I've been in sports where everybody's supportive and stuff, but it was never like that. And I was like, everybody's so nice, everybody gives out like help and support. Yeah, you get your bad apples over here, you know, but like everybody's really, really supportive, and everybody just wants everybody else to succeed. So I was like, I really want to be a part of that and that type of stuff. And everybody's kind of going through similar things or lifting for similar reasons. So it was easy to like relate to everybody else and then just kind of like fit in. There was no, oh my god, you gotta look like this. Oh, you lift pretty good for your size. I don't get that often. But yeah, no, it was just that meet that I was like, I really, really want to like keep this up, and I'm glad I did. Oh my gosh. Because there's times you just want to like quit completely, but it was worth just sticking it through and like supporting each other. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember your numbers during that mock meet?
Oh my god. I think it was a 205 squat for a PR. I kid you not. No, I think it was a 200. It was 200 to 205 squat, and then
Still a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, that's still a lot.
Like you're saying it like it isn't anything, but like, what was your weight class? Were you still 57 at the time?
I was 122.
That's almost double body weight. Which is crazy.
Oh my god. It was like 205 squat. I think I failed my 135 bench. But I had like 125. I think I did 125 or 120, 125, 120 bench. Deads, I don't know what I hit. I was pulling conventional. I think I pulled 205. 205? With really bad tech though. Like I look back and I'm like, oh. Like it makes me like uncomfortable just thinking about it. But I think that was it.
Not bad.
That's actually not bad.
Like it was okay.
I mean, in comparison sake, that's probably as good as I did on this last meet tonight.
No, you did good.
Same.
Placing first.
But at that moment, were you even getting any coaching at all?
Nope.
What was your training? Wait, okay, so that was your first mock meet, but I was like, how did you even train for it? Was it just kind of like based off your own thoughts of like how you should train?
I don't know what I did. Just like
did
training.
you ever,
it was. a lot of volume. It was just a lot of volume, and then I took that week like pretty light. Like I obviously did some like singles and stuff.
Did you do everything yourself, or did you run a program from like the internet or something?
I don't know what I did. It was just like exercises I'd been doing that I like saw progress with, or I just kind of kept in. And I didn't do singles, I didn't do doubles or triples. I was literally just straight volume work up until then. And it wasn't like that long of like a prep. It was like maybe a couple weeks because I decided to do the mock meet like maybe a month out.
So you didn't even get to peak. You
just like straight shot the muscles for one day.
Deload and then fuck it.
All right,
Literally.
we're set. We're set.
Pretty much. That's how it went.
Do you think if you were to kind of like prep yourself for that mock meet, you would have done better?
No.
No?
No, I don't think at all. Because like I was still learning like a bunch of tech. Like now, in comparison to like how I am right now, and how focused I am on form. Like obviously I was focused on like form because I didn't touch deads. I didn't touch deads until like March. Like when I started training for the meet, I didn't touch deadlifts because I didn't know how.
And she still hit 205.
My back
It be nice.
My back hurt though. But like, no, I think I probably would have done like the same. Maybe if I had like a coach to be like, okay, this is what you gotta do. But that wasn't my thing. It was just like, I'm lifting so I don't like dislike myself.
Oh my
But
gosh.
no, but then when I started that, I was like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. And then there's other girls that were lifting about like the same amount as me, or I was lifting like below them but close. Like it was just, yeah, no, I definitely would have probably done the same without a coach. And if I had a coach, someone would be like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. I was just going off like, I'm gonna just lift some heavy shit and then hope for the best.
Oh my god.
You YOLO'd your whole journey up until that point.
Literally, I did. I just straight didn't know what I was doing. Like, I didn't have a good idea what I was doing until I got a coach, which was July. July. I prepped 5 weeks out from the circle meet in Texas.
She said full sending.
No, in New Braunfels.
When that was with Big Matt, right?
No, that
was
was
it someone
actually.
else?
Shout out to Christian from Heavy Metal.
Okay.
Christian, he prepped me 5 weeks out, and I actually like decent. I went 8 for 9. But that was probably the most when I was like, oh, this is what you have to do. That's when I was like, oh, we're starting to do singles.
I can imagine this to talk with the coach. I have a meet coming up. Oh, really? What is it, like 3 months away, 4 months away, 5 weeks out?
It was funny because
oh, shit.
Hey, that same thing happened to me. That's what happened to me.
I can see it right in the program right now. Oh, shit.
No.
Brian got me ready for C Cup in 7 weeks.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's like give or take. That's understandable. It's not too bad.
I mean, it's not as bad as her for sure.
No,
It's like 5 weeks out. Oh, okay.
Just seen Tim's face. He was like, oh, you prepping for me to leave for coach? I was like, yeah. I was like, I just knew one. I just hadn't thought about it, and like I don't know what I'm doing, and like I can't do volume anymore because my body's like, you know. And he was like, oh, he's like, okay, what meet are you training for? And I was like, oh, the circle meet. He's like, how far out is that? I was like, 5 weeks. He's like, he's like, girl, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. But he set me up with Christian and. My man.
Okay.
But no, I didn't get with Big Maddie until I got here.
Okay.
Yes.
Officially. Okay. But with that meet, what did you know? Did you hit higher? I'm pretty sure you hit higher than your last one, right? The mock meet.
Yeah, I hit a match PR. I had a 215 squat in the gym, like for gym PR, and then I matched that at the meet. This is a meet where everybody sweated off like 8 pounds because it was.
I remember I was hearing about that. Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad. It was like the worst.
In a warehouse.
Damn, I need to go there.
Summer.
It was
Get
so
your
hot.
water cut right there, bro.
Because there's like 3 events going on all in one building, and it was
Yeah, it was like a strongman, powerlifting. I don't know what else. I was like,
everything.
huh?
No, I hit bigger numbers there. I did 215, and that was for a match. My bench, I like failed 137, but I had the longest sticking point of my life. Like I kid you not, it was right here, and it just stayed there for like all of 8 seconds, and I was just like, pick it up.
Just take it.
Yeah, just take it.
I don't want to sit here too long.
It's fine. But then my deads, I think I hit like 255 for a PR.
So she went.
Two.
She had it 50. She had 250 pounds. Not too long after that mock meet.
No wonder you made CNETs. A little over a year of living.
Really nice. A little over a year.
Stop.
Look at
Talk to your
you.
genetics or some shit.
You better hope nothing's in your pee.
Yeah. Christmas cup.
Boom, but I was also
Feelings.
taking Bucked Up at the time, and I was using approved wrist wraps and everything.
Cheater.
And-
Yeah. I see.
But I didn't know that was a thing until like after, and then they called off the equipment check because it was so hot, and they were just like, go weigh in. They go in.
They literally said.
COVID. Wasn't it for COVID?
I don't think so, because they were just like, no, we're just not doing equipment checks. So go in. And like I was like, oh, okay.
They said it was too lazy. They're like, no, I don't
I
want to do
mean,
this.
that sounds like the TSS meet.
I mean,
Some guy squatting in the bar grip shirt. What the fuck?
I know.
Wait, huh?
There was a guy squatting in the ASM bar.
I could have just worn mine.
That's what I'm saying.
That would probably be the case that the bar wouldn't have rolled off me then.
Exactly.
I'd be like, shit, let's go.
Dude.
Manny, add more pounds.
Just add more. Don't go full send it right
50
now.
more kilos right here, right now.
Alright, we'll talk about the TSS meet in a second.
Who asked?
I am.
This ain't the old. This is the. I miss the old honey. Nah, it's
It's
just
my
because he shaved his
apartment.
bar,
That's my mic. This is my computer.
shaved his beard. But
His beard doesn't know how to act.
I do feel different. I feel a bit different.
Wait. Speaking of which, I don't know if you. When did you actually start using lifting equipment? Because what kind of equipment did you have at the mock meet?
An Amazon belt.
Oh my god.
I think I remember that.
I don't even think I had wrist wraps.
Did you have knee sleeves either?
I had hand-me-down knee sleeves from my cousin's powerlifting partner.
Oh, okay.
I had a $30 Amazon belt and worn out knee sleeves.
That's all you need.
It's
I mean, it's like, yeah.
That's all you need.
I mean, either way, it was a charity event, so it's not that, you know.
I'll
It was
never complain about equipment ever again.
No.
Well, for the next one, what did you have better equipment, or did you just like the same thing?
No, the next one I still had the belt.
Uh-huh.
Still had the sleeves. I just had wrist wraps.
Wrist wraps. That's the only difference. It's like, all right, I'm set. I have everything I need. But okay.
Yeah.
But do you feel like now with what you have today, do you think it's like, does it make a big difference in your opinion?
Oh my god. My belt was
Using
like.
an SBD and everything.
No,
too?
no, it's so bad because like he knows how my belt was. He knows how my belt was. Like it was literally just fabric. Like it was floppy.
It was plastic.
Breath belt. You might as well use that instead.
No, for
Velcro,
real.
everything. Let's go.
Oh my god, I just got an SBD belt, and so when I got it in, I was so happy. I had to borrow somebody's belt for the Collegiate Cup because I was like, I'm not using my belt. I can't. I feel the difference. I can't do it. But no, definitely, I feel like it's made a big difference. I got like some decent knee sleeves. Deadlifting socks weren't a thing until like until my first meet. But no, I think that the equipment definitely helps, obviously, and like whatever is more comfortable. Like I don't like the super stiff wrist wraps, but the ones I have now, like everything else just feels like more smooth and it makes me feel more confident. I'm like, shit, look kind of cool.
But okay. But what was I trying to remember? But as far as today now you're prepping for CNATs, which is in like what, 4 or 5 weeks now?
It's 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
4 weeks out yesterday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Whew.
You got spring break, then right after that,
Literally.
like next week.
It's 2
all right,
weeks
time
off.
to fly back. Time to fly to Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Chirac.
Stepping out the plane, everything out the airport.
Do you guys know which gym that's going to be held in?
It's not gonna be held in a gym.
It's gonna be like at like
It's an arena.
Yeah.
Because it's in Lombard, and I had a friend who just competed in a meet in Lombard. So I was wondering if they were going to use the same gym, but
No, I think for national meets and like they use a like an arena type thing.
that is fucking
I think it's
That's a
like
big
an
deal.
event center. or
That's
something like that.
badass. I want to go now just to see what it's like, you know.
Ooh, that leads me into another question. Is like, I mean, it's a whole different experience. Like we talked about before, is when you actually go to like a big meet, when there's a lot of people and there's a whole team or people cheering you on. I know for me, I like the feeling of like having a whole crowd and the hype around it.
Yeah.
Just being like, I feel like it adds more adrenaline to you to do more.
Yes.
But for you, how much of an experience whenever you had like the first time ever like having a crowd there during a lift and everything? Do you feel like it made a big difference? Like, okay, or did you make it like, oh, this is nerve-wracking?
feel like it was a little bit of both, but like for me, I like it when people yell at me when I'm lifting. Like I can still focus. Like if somebody's like in front of me while I'm lifting, I'm like, it's fine, I don't give a fuck. I mean, my bad. But
it's too late for that. I was like, he was like cussing up a storm for the last 25 minutes.
I really need to stop doing that because they got mad at me at the meet yesterday.
Are they yelling at you?
No, they were like, oh, this is a family event. Like,
a family event? Oh yeah. It is a family event with a whole bunch of guys, wearing leotards, There's a literally just like wearing gray sweatpants. I'm like, all right,
okay.
like there's like a whole bunch of.
It was cold, so it is.
Oh my god.
No, that was the thing though. It's funny because it was like, and my girlfriend too. She was like, "Hey, some of them not wearing something down there because you can see everything." I was like, "What do you mean?" And they're just like,
"Why's she looking?"
Some people I was like, "Why not?" But like they were like, some people was like, "Yeah," because some guys will go commando because it's like they're pretty strict on it. But then again, they don't really check.
They're not gonna check you. Oh, you got underwear or no?
Unless
I think they stopped doing that a while back, actually, way before IPF split.
That was the thing though. I think it's like mostly if it's for people who are like equipped, because I know like it'll help them a lot more too with support, because I didn't know there was such thing as a supportive underwear. I was like, huh? There's such thing? Because until I saw it, apparently it was like the high school federation, they'll be selling those, and apparently it's approved. And I was like, these motherfuckers be wearing knee wraps, supportive underwear, squat suit, everything.
Was it like underwear just like knee wraps? Like you just tie around your
pelvis? No. I would. But no, it's an actual like supportive, kind of like it was like as if you were wearing knee sleeves. And I was like, there's an
underwear
such thing?
that tight?
But how does that help you?
I mean, when you go down like down the hole.
But the underwear will be up here.
But
like how like
no, it's kind of like longer.
Extension or
it's a little bit longer. So
but even if it's here, like how would that help you lift more?
It helps
like,
you clench your booty cheeks.
It's probably like injecting ATP into your system as you lift.
Well, it's kind of like maybe it just helps with springing up a little bit, like springing up, kind of like whenever you do hip thrusts and everything. Like it kind of like helps you spring up.
Does it like help with extension or something? Because like
it has to, because it's like, I mean, I don't know, I've never had a pair, but like I can only imagine just guys wearing it. It's just restricted. Like fuck, hurry up! I don't want to wear this anymore. But I remember that just reminded me of that. That's when we were talking about equipment. But as far as this next meet coming up, do you already have like an idea of what your opener is going to be like right now?
No idea, but I'm hoping. Deads and squat have been a roller coaster so far this prep, which I did not expect. I thought it would be more of just deads being an up and down thing, but squats with the hip and whatnot. I'm really hoping to open up with 147 for my bench, and then for squats, I like 230 something for maybe an opener, and then deads. My goal was at the end of last prep to have 265 be an opener. But I'm maybe like 255, 265. Hopefully 265 is an opener, but yeah, and I'm just taking it for what it is, and it's just like an experience, So it's like I don't expect to be like, oh, I'm gonna go place first, like. No, like I'm just going so that I can see my competition on like a broader scale, and just be like, okay, like that's how hard I've got to work to get to where they're at, and just kind of just get my feet wet and have fun and just do a thing.
Okay, I forget did anyone check like what's the cap on the national whenever registering? Like what's the cap, the amount of, or is there not really a cap to it?
I don't know if there's a cap.
There has to be a cap.
There has to be, because I'm curious.
Because there was early registration, and then there was like the regular, and then there was the late, but you'd have to pay an extra fee.
That's what I was curious about, but we'll see. Oh yeah, it was like.
Well, currently there's 564.
God damn.
I mean, it makes sense though, because it's like.
It's like 5 days.
Then again, it is also including teens, juniors, and then also collegiate people.
Yeah, because high school is also included in this.
Yeah, okay, so
I don't know about college admissions alone.
Man, I can only imagine, especially if it's like, when you're competing or anyone else is competing, I can only imagine how long the wait and how many flights they're gonna be. Just gonna be sitting there like.
Yeah, I wonder how many platforms there are.
That's another thing too.
It's probably like 4 or 5.
It has to be multiple. 'Cause
Please.
at least maybe like one for collegiate, one for high school, one for like teens and juniors, and then high school and people like that. So it can make it easier. I can only imagine just sitting there on one platform. Oh my god!
20-minute wait.
Oh my god.
Somebody hurry up! Just run out. Make it like a 30-second timer. It's like you have 30 seconds to set up.
Oh god, no.
Alex, are you registered?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be scary. It's just like
You scared me. Oh, no,
like,
no.
I don't see you. I heard me.
Takes me off.
Oh.
Saw me.
Oh my god.
Bumps me off.
But I'm excited to see y'all lift. I mean, you, everyone else, especially. I'm also
shit.
excited now that
Hey, I take it back.
What?
I looked up. I wasn't looking at the wrong thing.
Oh, okay.
Collegiate Nationals has 962 registered lifters.
God, 962.
62.
Gee.
962.
No wonder it's like almost a week of people lifting.
It's only for the 3 days, homie.
Oh, 3 days. I'll be crying.
Oh, there you are. I found you.
I'm crying, throwing up. God damn.
Okay, I found it.
Well, at least it makes it easier for me to film. Make it so much easier. It's like, film, okay, now I gotta wait 30 minutes until the next time.
Oh my gosh.
You're going, right?
Yeah, I am going just to like record and stuff, but I can
Does
always
state pay for it?
Huh? Hell no.
That's a joke.
You think? I wish, but
They'll reimburse you.
oh yeah, true.
Yes.
You know what? That's actually true. My boss actually told me. I told her about the commentary. She was like, actually, if you tell me, or you like, there's a page where you can set it up. Apparently, they'll reimburse me for how much I paid for the competition.
Oh wow.
So I was like, oh.
Do it.
So I need to do that. I mean, like that's $75. Still, I mean, use that for everything else.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Or use it for my next meet. So
Yeah.
But-
There you go.
yeah,
When's
I'm
that
excited. My next meet. I still haven't decided yet. I'm still kind of thinking about it. I mean,
Sorry.
need to take my time. Maybe, but then again, I have my internship, so yeah.
I got you.
But I know it's you. You're also. It's who else is also going? Oh, Preston's finally going.
Oh, I
Yes.
saw
I'm so
that.
I was like,
I'm happy he's going.
I can't believe you hadn't registered up to this point.
Oh my god.
it was just funny because he was like, oh, like, do I need someone to handle me? He was just like, oh no, you can do it yourself if you wanted to. He was like, oh, because I'm going now. And I was like, let's fucking go.
Oh yeah, I saw that little SpongeBob meme and everything.
Oh man, but it's just funny because like Preston, like he does a lot of things like last minute. I remember he did out of nowhere. He just does sumo for that from C Cup. He did.
Well, he was prepped.
Yeah,
He was prepping, but it was just kind of like he switched back and forth sometimes.
I think he did that within like 5-4 weeks.
Mhm.
So.
Did he even have a coach at all? He doesn't have a coach, huh?
No, he owns his own stuff.
That's a funny thing too, cause I'm like, I just remember he didn't. They just I think it was Brian. Brian, whenever he did his sumo lift, whenever he had deadlifts, he's just like Preston was just like, yeah, just throw whatever, like whatever. You can throw a big number, I don't care. And I was just like, oh, what the fuck? His last deadlift didn't even look that hard either, and I was just like, man, we should have gone way higher.
Yeah.
Preston himself is a fucking unit.
He is. He's like a.
But
He's a large man.
he is a very large man. But
He's only 105 though, or he was. I don't know what he's.
that is true though. Now that the weight classes changes, so I wonder if he's gonna go. I'm pretty sure he's gonna just go up. Might as
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna go down,
Really?
but I don't know. I haven't talked to Preston in a while.
I don't
so.
think Preston would go down. I think he'd be like one person to want to just go up.
Might as well go up. Might as well. But we'll see. But for Collegiate Nationals, it's gonna be held in Chicago. Well, Lombard specifically, right?
Yeah.
It's like Greater Chicago area.
Mhm.
So.
So it's gonna be held there with all of those 900. Well, I'm curious how many collegiate people. Collegiate people.
I said Collegiate Nationals. You want me to look at?
Oh,
hand you the
that's
phone?
just solely collegiate. God damn.
Dang.
I'll hand
that's
you
a
the
big
phone, bro.
need.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money too.
That's a lot of money.
150. What it was? How much
it was
was
like
it?
120, I think, all in together.
It must be nice making all that money. Yeah. Then again, it's held in like arena. Apparently, they said yeah, it's held in arena. So
Major bag alert.
major bang.
Major bag.
But I'm excited for all of y'all. Honestly.
I'm excited to see everybody compete and like what they end up putting out. Because
Mhm.
Elsa's getting really strong. Ricky and
Yo,
Justin
I'm very
crazy.
happy. Yeah, for
Yeah,
Elsa too. She's getting strong lately, and I was like,
That was her first meet ever.
Really?
She qualified.
yeah, it must be nice. Her, Elsa. Oh, it must be nice. All right. But I am excited for y'all. I'm very excited to see what y'all can do. Especially, I'm curious. What was that?
See, look, just collegiate. Because there's separate menus for teen and high school and junior.
Uh huh.
So there's separate menus. This is just collegiate.
Oh man.
That's so many.
No.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. But then again, even if I qualified somehow, I don't even know how I would prep for 4 weeks like you.
It was brutal because I was working like I was working a full-time job and then going straight to the gym, going home, eating, and then doing the same thing every freaking day. I was exhausted. Like my family was like, "We're worried about you, Alex," and I'm like, "Look."
Are you okay?
I'm like, "Look, I'm fine. I'm like 6 hours of sleep. I'm fine."
Oh my gosh. But then again, I mean, when you're powerlifting, I mean, if you really like to do it, I mean, you'll find a way.
Exactly.
I mean, especially for me, I mean, all my friends, all of my family ask the same thing, like, how do you find time to do that? Like, I mean, powerlifting takes a lot, especially if you take your time, it takes like, for me, at minimum, like 3 hours. As long as I'm not talking to anyone, I'll be like, okay, I'm good. But I know it takes a long time for me. That was another thing. That speaking of which, when your family learned about you doing, like, starting to do powerlifting, how did they feel about it, especially doing a meet and everything?
Okay, well, like, my family didn't really, like, make a big deal out of it. Like, they were just kind of
They were just like, oh, cool.
Like,
She's doing something.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've always done something, so then, like, okay, well, like, is it something that you actually want to do, or are you just going to, like, quit? And I was like, okay. The first person I did tell was my cousin Val. He powerlifts. He's like, bro, you can do this. He's like, this is easy money for you. And I was like, okay. And they didn't go to my first meet. They didn't really stay for the second one. The third one, they didn't stay the whole time. But, no, now they know that, like, I really do like doing it, and they're always asking, like, oh, how's your lifts going? And, like, I'm like, oh, they're going good. They're like, you're looking beefy. I'm like, thank you. But, yeah, no, they're just, like, they're kind of like, they don't really, like, they're not crazy or, like, super, I don't know, like, hyped. Like, I saw Preston and his parents. They're not like that.
That was funny, too. Like, his parents were all hyped.
Yeah.
Whoever his family and friends were, they were, like, all yelling whenever he would go on.
Yes.
Speaking of which, what about y'all? Like, with your parents, I'm pretty sure they know about it too, about powerlifting. Were they kind of like, I mean, okay, like, cool? Or they were like, oh, fuck, what is it? Or they just don't know what it was. They're just like, okay, whatever.
I prefer to skip.
Oh, okay.
My parents were supportive.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't know what it was, and they probably still really don't. They kind of know. I kind of explained it to them, but I've only done one meet, and they didn't go to that, so it's all right. There's no love lost there. It's or I guess that's not the phrase that I wanted to say, but I don't have any hard feelings because it's a big commute, and I wasn't gonna do well anyway. So, and it was my first meet, so like maybe it was so better that they not be there. And it wasn't like it was C Cup, which is kind of like a bigger than a local meet, but it's still a local meet at the end of the day. So it's not like I went to nationals. But yeah, so they're supportive. They called me after and asked me how it went, but they didn't show up, and they probably weren't ever going to. And I was okay with that. It's not big deal.
I mean, especially with my parents, they were just kind of like,
What's that?
and then I show them videos about it, and they were like, oh, cool. And they're like, the typical medical parents would comes out of themselves. They're like, you're gonna hurt your back.
That's
oh my god!
Watch your knee. It's like don't your knees hurt? I'm like, shut up. Yeah, I know.
My uncle was like the most worried about it too. He was always like, Alex, he's like, you're lifting heavy, like just be careful. Like all the time I would hear, be careful, Alex. You're pretty like young and you're kind of small, so just be careful. That's all I heard for like months, and I was like, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was like, I can't.
Obviously, I know. But
same. Didn't help that I had back injuries, like
right
in the first 4 months of my lifting career.
Gosh.
So.
As I get older, I'm starting to feel it even more now. Like, I'm starting to feel it now. Like I didn't know I would get pains in certain areas until now because I remember I think I started getting tendonitis now. Because I started feeling it in my elbows. I was like, what is that? So I just started taking from now on, I've been just taking the gun every now and then. I was like, as soon as I feel pain.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Just drilling that tendon
Just,
into
like,
submission.
hopefully it goes away. But, I mean, either way, it's something we like doing. So
Yeah.
it's not a big deal for me. I mean, with my parents not going, I'm just like, I mean, either way, you're going to be sitting there for a while. So I'd feel bad if my parents have to sit there for a few hours just for me to go up there and do like 9 times, but I have to wait like almost an hour or two for the next one.
Yeah.
So
Like honestly, like but when you're like lifting and stuff, it doesn't feel that long. Like when you're going from like back and forth, it feels like it goes by so quick.
mm-hmm.
But for them, it's just different because they're all sitting in the chairs in the front.
I mean, we'll talk about that with me and John. We'll talk about like whenever about our TSS meet because it went pretty fast, huh?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, it went a lot faster than I
I think
thought.
we ended what?
Like
Almost
2:30.
If we took out the award ceremony, it was like almost 2 hours. Like cut the house, like oh, we went by real fast.
Yeah, I was surprised that it lasted so short. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because the previous day felt like it took a lot longer. Like we were there. You weren't there that day. But like I got there. I mean, I did stay there the whole time, so maybe that was just me being there for like everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I got there at like 10, right?
Around 10.
And obviously there was multiple sessions, but like I didn't leave until 9:30. So yeah, I mean we were there for a long time, and I think the girls went by like a little fast. Like that was probably about 2-ish hours maybe. But then when the guys started rolling in, like that is when it really started to take a long time. And that session probably started at 3:30 and didn't end until like 8.
Jeez.
So
Yeah, it was a while.
'Cause-
We couldn't, like, listen.
yeah, you guys left in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a long time. But there was like so many flights. And
Yeah, I saw that it was like up to D.
yeah, they had to split them. They had to split a flight into C and D.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the Masters guys were still lifting with some 82s or something. So I mean, it was great, but I mean, it was a long time, and we were all tired at the end of the night. So
Another thing is, speaking of which, with what was it? This recent? Oh no, it was the second meet, the one with the circle meet. How big was the flight?
It wasn't that big. I think I was the only girl in my weight class. I was the only girl in my weight class, and like the way he did it was just like, I think there was one like 52, maybe 147. So it was like the 47, like whoever. I think he kind of like meshed all the girls into one basically, and it was just kind of like going down the list of like the lightest weight to the heaviest. So it was like there was a bunch of girls kind of mixed in one weight class. I mean, for the most part, that's what it was. The guys, there was more guys than girls for sure. But no, for the girls it was just kind of like all mixed. So like there was like the 47, 57, which was me, and then like the 60, 63, whatnot. But it was the lighter set girls, and then it was the heavier girls like after. But it was just kind of like all together because there wasn't that many of us in like the smaller weight classes.
Oh, okay. Cause what time was yours in the morning or was it in the afternoon?
I went in at like, I went in like the middle of the day. I think it was like 12:31.
Okay,
so I got out late, and we went out to eat after. So I didn't get home till like 12.
Oh, that's not probably.
It was horrible. Yeah. It was horrible. I was so tired. I was like, I just want to go home. But yeah, no, it was just the girls all together. But weighing in, I hate weighing in the middle of the day.
Really?
Yes, I'd much rather do it in the morning.
agreed.
Yes.
Did you prefer it that way, in the morning, or did you rather have it in the afternoon?
No, I prefer it in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because you just wake up, you get yourself ready to go. You know. And
that is true. Yeah.
Versus like getting there and you're just like, oh, I can't eat until like 12. That's in like 4 hours. It's just like, damn.
If that, it was 2 for me. I couldn't eat until 2.
Oh gosh.
Man.
That was bad.
And And I barely made weight too. So I was like, if I didn't even make weight, I would have been pissed.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you had to weigh in later. God damn.
I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
One of the reasons I'm cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just avoid those afternoon weigh-ins.
Afternoon weighs. Oh my god.
Afternoon weigh-ins, like I can't do it. I couldn't imagine. Like going into C cup, I was afraid about making weight because like I was weighing in heavy the week prior, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I had to like starve myself like 2 days. Don't recommend it.
Oh my god.
But it was bad. No, definitely morning weigh-ins.
Okay. I think I can understand for sure, especially whenever this past meet, I was like, okay, like if you just want to get the weigh-ins out the way for sure, so you can just eat right away, yeah. I mean, just get there early. I remember Brendan, yeah, he got there early.
He got there like 6.
And I was like,
or 6:30.
I remember I woke up around the time he texted, and I was just like, how are you already there? I was like, what time did you leave? He was just like, yeah, I'm just waiting here. I think he woke up early because he was a little bit overweight. So he was like, I think he said he was like spitting in the bottle or something like that.
He said he weighed in. I think he weighed in like less than a kilo under.
Like very close.
Very close.
Oh man, I'd just be like, I'd be too stressed out to even think about that right now. But yeah, Collegiate Cup's coming. Collegiate Nationals. I was like, Collegiate Cup. Collegiate Nationals coming soon. Do you have any goals as of right now? What you would like to hit for each lift? What would you like to hit?
I want to hit 147. Oh no, I want to open up at 147. I want to hit 150. What's the next one? 153.
153.
I want to hit like 153 at least. I want to hit over 150s for bench. And then deads, I want to get close to 300 at this point, but I don't know. Squat, hoping to like 50s, 260s maybe. But I'm not gonna put a number on it because then I just. But those are my goals. Like for bench, I'm pretty confident, so I'm like I want to get 150s. And deads, I'm just like it's up and down. That's how it feels. So like, I just want to hit over like 275 at this point. I just want to hit over that. That's all I want to do. Squats, I don't know what to expect. So maybe like 250s, 260s, I'd be happy. 240s, yeah, but because they called me on depth on my 248 squat, so I was like, if I can hit that at the meet, I'm fine. But no, that's pretty much my goals for the meet. Plus it's in kilos, so I gotta take into account like the transfer.
Yeah, that's true. That was the thing I learned in this meet.
You know what? It didn't affect me at all.
Not for him.
Well, I guess maybe just because it's kind of like. Actually, it wasn't that bad. It was just mostly 2 bean quests, I should say. Never mind.
Yeah, honestly, it didn't affect for me either.
Just mainly on my bench is when it affects me. Like squat, not really. Deads, maybe a little bit more. But like for bench, I definitely feel the difference.
Okay. And then 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks from now?
326.
326?
327.
680.
So yeah.
It's nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking, yeah. Yeah, that's how it was, especially for me, honestly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, figured out.
When you're a month out?
Oh, when I was a month out? No, it was like the day before.
I mean,
I was like,
that's not the same thing.
God.
So Saturday hit you?
Saturday?
Yeah.
Is that why you didn't go and watch anybody on Saturday?
No, Saturday I actually was, I don't know, I was not gonna lie, I was actually feeling pretty sick. It was mostly after I ate something. It was, specifically I remember, Chick-fil-A. That's what it was. And I was like, I hope this isn't the end. But no, it was just mostly like a slight stomach ache, so I was just kind of like hoping it wasn't anything bad. But as the day went on, it just got better, so thankfully it wasn't terrible. Even though like right after that, it's like, oh, my stomach hurts. And I was with my girlfriend. She was like, "But I'm hungry. Do you want to go get Kobe?" Sure. Sure.
Gets out of it.
The benefits of not having to make weight, bro.
But I guess we now.
Wait, before we talk about the TSS meet, there's one more question I want to ask. Alex, you are coached by Big Matty Gaines, Team BMG, just like Matt as well. I wanted to so you were coached kinda going into that circle meet.
Yes.
But what made you decide to officially get a coach and pick BMG as your trusting him with your gains?
Trusting us with the gains. Honestly, It was like I had really good experiences with like my coach, like before my 5-week coach. He was really helpful. 5-week coach. Me and Maddie really much vibe pretty well. He seems super helpful. I was like, okay, I really need to give it a shot. And
did you meet him at the circle meet, or did you introduce him through?
I actually did meet him at the circle meet. He came up to me. He's like, "Hey, you're Alex, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like,
"Are you Luna Liz?"
I don't think I had an account at that time.
Oh, yet. She's too famous for us. Yeah.
Oh no.
You gotta do the Maddie walk.
No, I did meet him at the meet. I always forget that I met Maddie at the meet. I met Maddie at the circle meet, and then like whenever we'd go to SB, we would talk, and we had each other on Instagram, so we go back and forth. And I heard that he was pretty good. A lot of the Texas State team was with him. I was like, okay, I'll give him a try. And like, I stuck with him, and like obviously we have like times like that, but I mean we're pretty well. Like I adjust pretty well when it comes down to like coaches and stuff, because I know that they have their own kind of like beliefs on how they train athletes, and there's some things that he knows that I'm not gonna switch up on certain things, but I'm willing to try new things and all that sort of thing. But no, he's always been a pretty good coach. He can be a pain in my butt, but like no, he's a pretty good coach, and no, I decided to just stick with him. I don't know. He was asking me if I was gonna keep him till after Nats, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing after Nats, but I think so. I'm just kind of like I'm just going with the flow right now.
Yeah, I think every client and coach butts heads.
Oh yeah,
at
for
some
sure.
point. I know you and I have had our differences with our coach as well.
Yeah.
Keep winning. Brian, don't watch this.
I love Brian. He's great.
We'll talk about it.
I still, we argue with him, but I still trust him.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I'll take the suggestions into account, and I'll do what he says, even if I don't think it's the right call.
Yeah.
I trust that he's gonna bring me to the promised land.
The promised land.
So I don't know, Matt. Have you ever butted with BMG?
Honestly,
you seem like a very passive client. Like you're just like, here's the sheet, do it, and you're like, yeah.
Wait, you're submissive, man.
well, I've never been like,
I've never been.
I'm kidding.
It's just kind of like, well, knowing, after talking, I first talked to Brian about it, about, getting coaching from Big Matt. So I was talking to him about it, and I mean, with Brian, if you trust him, I can trust Big Matt too.
Right.
Especially with how Brian is with technicalities, RPEs, all those stuff. I'm like, if he's willing to get coaching from Matt, well then I'm pretty sure it'll work well for me. Just because it's kind of like, even though there's certain things like I don't understand why he'll program me certain things, like he's not afraid to explain why. Sometimes he'll just be like, but then again, if he's just not feeling, he'll be like, just trust me. but I mean,
he's like, just trust me how I do it.
But like either way, I'm not gonna lie, it's been working well. So if it's been working, then obviously, yeah. I remember before we went to start the spring semester, like coming into January, I wasn't feeling like the best. Maybe just mostly because fatigue was hitting finally. So I noticed there was like a slight little like hiccup. Like I noticed my strength started to go down. So I told Big Matt like right after, I was like, hey, like I'm just letting you know, like I've been feeling fatigued. I haven't been feeling good. I think it's time for a delo. And he was like, okay, cool. Like I understand now. So he understands. He was like, as long as you talk to him, then yeah, he's gonna work with you. But just let him know, because if you don't tell him anything like, oh, I'm feeling fine, then yeah, he's gonna be like, then obviously your numbers are gonna start going down if you don't tell him. But from my experience, if Brian trusts him, then I trust him at this point.
Like how Brian's the benchmark for whether or not a coach is worth
I'm just saying, just because based on like how
Brian, we redeemed you here.
How Brian is very strict on like certain techniques.
I trust me. As Brian's client, I know. I know.
And not only that, with Brian's experience with coaching too, and how many people I've seen him coach, I'm kind of like, okay, from that experience, if he's willing to get coaching from that, yeah, for sure. But
yeah, I think it's a mark of a good coach to be able to, not only like take like arguments or disagreements from the client, but to explain your position without any arrogance and without any just do it because I told you to do it. Like I'm always like a fan of like asking why you're doing something, you know? And if the coach can give you an answer, even if you somewhat are like, okay, whatever, but at least the coach is willing. I think that's a mark of a good coach, is what I'm saying. And I've watched Matt coach now twice. I mean, handle at meets and make calls and coach in the moment twice now. And, you know, I'm starting to really, really respect him. Like, I mean, I respected him before as a lifter and as a peer, but now it's like even more so, like as a coach, as a leader of his guys and girls, of course. So yeah, just wanted to know, like, speaking of that, actually, why don't we just jump right into the TSS meet and start talking about what happened between these two guys who both competed over last weekend at the TSS meet. So you both you both competed in the second day on Sunday, right? So we'll start with John. Like, walk us through, like, at least walk me through, like, maybe a week or a couple of days moving up to it, and like maybe the beginning of when you got there and like what you were thinking moving forward.
Man, let me just say,
all right,
Friday was the worst gym session I had ever had.
Like, he's not kidding.
Like, it was bad. I'm talking about, because it was tapered. Shout out to Brian, by the way. He's like the only coach that I never needed a deload throughout the whole prep. Not once. Not one time I needed a deload. But taper, the last taper, because forgot what happened. Oh, we were recording last episode, so I didn't get to go to the gym. So I did everything on Friday. It was like basically an SBD day. Let me tell you, squats, trash. Bench, I told you guys how I straightened my pec when I hit 365 for a second time.
Yeah.
What did I do? I think like 135, and it was acting up. I was like, oh my god. And I was like, okay, let me just do deads and get out. And so I went home and I was like, damn, I guess this meet's gonna go downhill, you know. And then Saturday I went to go support the team. Went with Brian. We went to go chill, hang out, you know, cheer everybody on. I started like I felt a little bit better. I couldn't move though. I couldn't cheer like anybody on like fully because Brian wanted me to rest. So went to bed around like 11. Woke up at 4:55. Got ready, you know, prep. But I didn't really feel nervous. Like leading up, like driving to TSS, I didn't feel nervous, not one bit. But I was so tight, like my hamstrings were tight. Squats went really well, except for the fact that my elbows were on fire.
Oh my god!
Like, it was bad. Tendinitis was 13 out of 10. Like, it was trash. Like,
you're gonna talk about how he was working on you the whole time.
Yeah. Like, it was to the point where after every lift, Brian was just like, literally. Like, it was bad. He was like, hey, pick up your arm. I was like, Brian,
Andrew, we need you. We could have had you. We need you.
True. No, Brian was pretty much working on my elbows and my shoulders and my back just to, you know, make the pain like as minimal as possible, but it was pretty bad. Like, I was even surprised. I think my third attempt, I think it was 501. It was an all-time PR.
Yes.
501. I was surprised I even got it because my elbows were just shot. Like, it was bad.
Hey. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so my plan was to use my SBD wrist wraps. They're the small, they're stiff. I was like, okay, we're getting 363 and it's gonna fly. Bro, I couldn't even, like, my elbows, my tendonitis were shot. Like, I wouldn't be able to wrap it. Like, it was bad. So, I mean, I'm not gonna make excuses or whatever, but it is what it is. So I think my second attempt was like 342. That flew. We took that, and then I told Brian, I was like, yeah, 363. Like it's the move. It's there. And then the guy just was like, oh, you want a guide? I was like, damn.
God dang.
I was thinking about re-racking it, but you need the command, and then I think I only had 12 seconds left.
Oh, okay.
So I had to wait like 6 on top of that, get ready, so I wouldn't have time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, super surprised how well deadlifts went.
That's the one I was very surprised. I was like, well, explain it. Yeah, sure.
So Brian was like, "Hey, you need to eat." I was like, "Brian, I can't eat. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not hungry."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Just eat a little bit." I was like, "Brian, I can't. Like, I just can't. I'm not hungry. I'm just too hyped." And he goes like, "Okay, just hydrate and all that." We opened up with 496. Dude, we should just open up like a 501 or something.
We honestly
should. Like it was gnarly. I don't know what second attempt was.
It was.
Was it 523?
No, it was 5. I think you jumped to 20 pounds. Maybe
518.
518, yeah.
518 and then 534. So 534 with like what RP 7.5, 8.
It was pretty fast.
It was
Yeah,
fast.
it looked
I
fast.
think
It
it was
looked very
like a 7.5,
fast.
7,
Yeah.
yeah.
Might have had 551 that day.
He
Definitely, I think. Actually.
Maybe.
grind time, baby.
But so we projected 1400 total, and then we missed bench, so it was like 1470 something. So it's not too bad. It is what it is. So game plan now is C cup.
Yeah.
Because how far off are you actually with the total? Yeah.
Depends. If I go in the 90 kg, I think the total there is like 1430 something. So that'll be 30 pounds, and then if it goes to the 100s, 50 pounds.
That's actually not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So
That's barring
Yeah, it's a long time.
any increases, which there will be some increase. So
road to 600 deadlift, that's for sure.
Dude, but he competed in a higher weight class and still got first.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
true. That is true. Because I checked, we checked. No, you checked. You're like, hey, the guy who you're competing against in the 100 kg, he dropped, and I was like, no way. So I looked and I was like, oh my god, he did.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's not fun.
Like, man, now you left with. Well, you're competing against one person, but he bombed out. So.
Well, actually, it was two people.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was 3 of us total in collegiate. It was 3 of us total. One of them didn't show up.
That was the thing too. I was like, wait, where's the other guy?
Yeah, one of them didn't show up. And then shout out to Jacob, the guy who I compete against. LS's client. He's pretty strong. He's pretty strong. Like, he had me beat. So
I was very surprised though. I was like, I remember too when it was you were competing. I was done, but LS was like trying to pep talk him, and he's just like, hey man, like don't give up on yourself. Yeah. Apparently because it's like he missed his opener and he tried to do it like 3 times, and it just didn't go off. I was like, oh
yeah.
But
so this sucks. I mean, I don't want to say it is what it is, but it's just
you gotta prepare for it. I mean, yeah.
So I mean, it was exciting though. Like I wasn't nervous at all. If anything, I was like zoned in, very concentrated.
So overall, relatively successful meet, except for that 363 little hiccup. But do you think with the rack and the proper reps and the no pain in here, you would have hit that for sure? You think it was there? I mean, I know you hit it in training, but
it was for sure there. I don't know if you saw it. I got it halfway up.
I did see it. I was right there.
Halfway up.
I thought you would have. I thought you would have had it.
I wanted to so bad. I was like, yes, 363, and I was like, no, it's going down. So
10-90 said sports mode.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I didn't want to tell Brian. I was like, bro, I cramped so bad my second attempt. I was like, oh my god, my hamstrings. I'm just gonna walk off and pretend like nothing happened. And I was like, yeah, give me some water quick. And so when I, you'll see, if you go back to the video on my third attempt on the bench, I set up fine, and then I grabbed the bar, and then you see my setup like in my leg area just kind of shift a little bit because I was cramping again. God. And I was like, no. I was like, well, we're already here. I can't just like do whatever. So
yeah, because you didn't have all the time either. So
yeah. And that was another thing. I took my time, as you should. You have what, a minute?
Yeah,
a minute. So I think that was the best advice. Brian was just reminding me. He was like, hey, take your time. You have a minute. You know. So I think that's what helped me out a lot too during squats, because I mean, you guys witnessed my squat. Like my singles week was just awful. I didn't know how to place the bar, like where to place it. Like it felt like throughout the whole prep or halfway through a prep, I just couldn't find my placement anymore when I unracked it. So I think mellowing out when you lift is the best option, because every time I stepped on the platform, it was just there was no crowd. It was just me in the bar, and so I think that was the best feeling, especially the last deadlift. Like that was the first time I ever got hyped for a lift. Was my last deadlift. Like that was the first time ever. So it was pretty exciting. So.
All right, Matt. What about you, sir?
Yeah, you went straight to
What? You got any more questions?
No, I was gonna just say congratulations to John.
Well, I mean that's
He's just like,
He's like,
okay,
that
good.
goes without
Anyways,
saying.
Matt, how are you?
That goes without saying, bro.
But
all right, real quick.
First of all, congratulations, John. Of course. But as far as me, honestly, like in the beginning, it was just kind of like I said in the last episode, it was like I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to, compete again, hit some PRs, and that was the main thing. I was just like happy to be there again, compete, and just mellow out and see how that goes. So warm-ups were good. It felt fine. It was just kind of like getting used to their equipment because we're so used to the Metroflex stuff. So like using the racks, using the little whatever platform we had. You just get used to it. Yeah. Like literally using from concrete rubber mats to like a bouncy platform.
Bro, that was sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
But that was like the best feeling ever. I was like, oh my god, we have equipment. And I was like, yes. Like, I walked in, I was like, dude, it's nothing's gonna go wrong today. And then Tinnitus was like, hey man, what'd you say? But continue.
But yeah, like warm-ups went fine. It was nice to finally have an actual rack and everything, kilo plates, all that. But warm-ups went fine. Squats, it took a little bit longer. Like everyone, I don't know if anyone else had like that experience. Once you got your legs under you, it's like okay, now you're good. So squats, for my opener, it was 170. That one went fine, like perfect, cool. I hit the rack a little bit, but I mean, I'm used to it. Then again, used to hitting it at the rack of the Metroflex. So I'm like, all right, this is what I trained before. Let's go. And I was like, all right, cool. So that one went fine. First problem I have, the bar is really smooth on our side.
Really?
Y'all's was probably fine because yeah, but it was smooth. Like I'm talking about like real smooth, like kind of like this.
That's crazy.
Barely much traction. We're talking about like Metroflex traction.
oh.
That's how the knurling was, and I was like, man, all right, whatever. So second attempt, that one went smooth too. Slightly a little bit like bent over a little bit, but it was fine. I was like, okay, cool. My next attempt was 185 keys, so 407. I know for sure I would have had it if the bar didn't roll off me. Like if it started to roll forward, and I was like, damn it. I was literally gonna be like, I don't know, I'll high bar it.
I'll high bar it.
I was like, I'll
Switches
literally
mid-lift.
go up and try to go with it, but it started to roll. It rolled like too fast to the point where it's like you can't stop it. So I was like, well, there's no way. So thankfully my spars had me and I was good. I was like, okay, whatever. It's like I only jumped up like 10, 12 pounds. So I was like, all right, no big deal. So that one was fine. Throughout that part, I was calm. I was like, whatever, chilling. Then we went to the bench press. Bench went pretty good too. Opened up with 270. That went perfectly fine. I'm trying to remember. The lift off, whoever the guy was, I wish you had him. 'Cause this dude was perfect. He was just like, you got it. And not only that, it's nice because it's like, he'll do it and then he'll get off quick. Because, the person who's lifting off has to move so that the front judge can see. So he was really quick about it. He'll be like, boop, and switch off. So it was nice. He's like, man.
John's like,
Oh my god.
Must be
But
nice.
yeah, so I was like, but it's cool because it's like the dude was. It's funny because I told him I was like, okay, explaining him. He's like, I got you, and it was like real quick. And for my second attempt, it was I forget how many keys. I think it was 127.5. So one at 282, I think, or a little bit more than that. That one 280. I think it was 281 actually.
281.
Yeah, that one went fine too. Okay, so this is where it started to change a little bit. So before I went on, there was another guy. It was a UTSA person, and he had 2.5 keys less than me for my third attempt. And the dude was getting he was like hype. He was like one of those like getting hype, and I was just like, what the fuck? And
You're like,
it was just like, god damn.
This is not the me.
And he got hype and everything. So he did it, and it was a struggle and everything. So throughout the whole time, I was just like, okay, let me dial it in a little bit. Once I went on, that one was like my grinder though. It was 292, I think. Yeah. It was 292, 132.5 keys, and man, that was actually that was like my grinder. So I was like, it came out fast, but like as soon as it got here, it started to get a little bit stuck. At first, it looked like it went down a little bit, so I was worried I was gonna be like, maybe they're gonna call me for like an up and down, but I was just like, trying to make my best to like make it look like it didn't go up and down. So I was just like up, and push it up, got it, and then that's when my whole competitiveness came out, and I was like, let's fucking go! And that's when it happened. It was just funny because my girlfriend was like, when did that come out? Like, where did that come from? But I was super psyched because like that's what I wanted, as in like I wanted to do some grinding, like fighting for it. So I was happy about that. I was a little bit worried because I noticed like I overextended my wrist a little bit too much, so I felt it. I was like, but it wasn't too bad. Like it was just kind of like letting me know, like, hey,
what's going on?
What are you doing? So that was like, I was happy about that. Now deadlift. Deadlifts was kind of like iffy, just because it was kind of like, when you're warming up, you have other people warming up with you, and with our weight class, I didn't know. Did you have many people warming?
Hell.
That's what I was saying. Like we had a lot of people warming up with us, so it became a problem because I was like, damn, I gotta wait for these people to warm up. I gotta wait for these people to warm up. So
yeah, there was like 4 of you in the 82 for us, and then that's on top of then UTSA guys.
Yeah, it was like 2, so like 6, right? Total.
Yeah, on this one platform. Yeah. I remember because I was part of the pit crew trying to like get all these guys.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
But
so, yeah, and there was like this weird delay, wasn't there? Where it was like there was a flight that was taken too long, or there was like a bigger than anticipated break. So you guys were kind of like standing around for a little bit, and then you had to start like, because they were about to go, and you had to start like rubbing it really, really fast. I think.
Yeah, there was. I think there was 2 delays.
Yeah.
And then we were just kind of like sitting there, like just straight chilling, and then the main thing was, I don't know if with me, when that happened, I was just trying to do my best to like keep warm, because that's the main thing. Because when I'm cold, like it does.
Yeah.
Mess me up a little bit, because I notice whenever I try to train in cold weather, I'll start to feel pain, like for sure. Like I'll start to feel pain if it's making sure like, hey, you need to get warm. So I made sure I had brought a blanket. You see me wrapped up in this big furry blanket over here like this. So in the meantime, I was just doing my best to keep warm. But for deadlift, it was a little bit iffy, just because like before we started, or I think after my first warm up, I had to use the restroom because I was just like, I'm not gonna wait. I just want to make sure like when I go out there, I don't have to worry about it. So when I came back, they were already like on their like second plate with like 2 reds and a yellow, and I was like, hold on, I still need to do my warm up. But I did that, and then I think my last warm up, I was a little bit kind of like worried going out there, just because from my last warm up, I would have to make a big jump. And I was like, shouldn't I do like a little bit more before I go out there, you know? But in my mind, I was like, okay, you know, no, Matt knows what he's doing, so I was like, okay, I'll do whatever. So with deadlift, I started off with 215, and the thing was kind of like, mentally, I was a little bit iffy still because of the whole knurling thing.
Yeah.
That was the thing. And not only that, like, I didn't know if we could ask, you could ask, like, to brush it off. I didn't know until, like, after, because it was, like, one person asked, and I was just like, oh, I should ask. But, going out there, that kind of, like, messed me up a little bit, because, like, grip issues, I was like, I didn't want to deal with that, and I was hoping, like, it didn't slip. But, for my first attempt, 475, 215 keys. I messed up my first attempt, mostly due to like technical issues. In my mind, I got it up really fast, but just like with Brian at C Cup in his first attempt, brought it up and then went like up and down, like trying to balance myself. And I was like, fuck. And they're gonna call me on that. Now, and also not gonna lie, like I dropped it, like kind of like let go of it, like right down here. So they probably called me on that too. I probably could have if I controlled it. Maybe give me a light, but then again, our side was pretty strict on judging. So after that, I think Big Matt was planning on having me jump a little bit more, and I was like, let me make sure I get this. So I was like, just keep it the same. And because he noticed I was like getting a little antsy after that, he was just like, he asked me, he's like, do you want to move up a little bit more, or you want to stay the same? I was like, let me make sure I get this so I can stay the same, and then we can make a big jump. So I did it again, and I did it a lot slower because I noticed if I did that, you know, I can take my time to balance myself, get everything right. Went smooth, easy. After that, sitting down for a little bit, I was kind of like at that point a little bit disappointed because I wish I was like, I got my first attempt, but I was like, all right, it is what it is, like I could do. But Big Matt, and then the next thing, Big Matt, he was looking at the lifting cast, and then he was just like, do you want a medal? And I was like, yeah, I do want one. And he's like, okay, this next one's gonna be like, you're gonna have to fight for it. You know that, right? And I was just like, whatever it takes. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I think it was 501 pounds, and it's not too much of a big jump, honestly. It really wasn't. But if it was gonna give me a third place, I was like, that's fine with me. So once I got up to the platform, I was a little bit nervous and everything, but it was funny because I didn't use ammonia the whole time until the last one. I was like, let me get some ammonia real quick. I was like, I asked you, I was like, hey, can I get your ammonia? And then I was like,
oh yeah, that's when you were.
Yeah, I was like, just because this is my last one, and I was like, I might as well just try it and see what happens.
Because at this time I was doing my opener, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I don't think I need ammonia for 500. So.
Mm-hmm. And then I used it. Not gonna lie, I didn't get like a big whiff, but a little was enough. So, got up there, took my time, calmed down myself, and then it flew up. It flew. It was easy.
It was fast.
And I was like, I was a little bit upset, but thankfully, once I put it down, I think it was 3 white lights. I got hyped. I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, it got so.
Well, I said let's go. I didn't want to curse because everyone was saying like, yeah, you don't curse. But
what was the difference between third and second place, like by kilos?
The sad thing was D'Angelo was right below me. The thing is, he missed his second attempt. If he got his third attempt, we would have tied, but he weighed less than me. So he would have got third place, but I'm pretty sure what was happening was his second attempt, I think he didn't fully, no, it was like a up and down, I think it was. I think it was the third attempt, his last attempt, I think he didn't fully lock out. I think that was the case, but I'm not sure. But I felt bad just because it's kind of like, you know, judging was really strict. I felt it was really bad. It really was. Like I remember for my squat, I got a red light. It was the big guy, like the big guy from the last meet from C Cup. He called me on depth, and I was like, huh? And then Big Matt was like, just do your thing. Just like do what you usually do, because obviously that was depth. Like, there's no way. I even looked at the video and it was depth. I was like,
I have a funny story, by the way. So when you're done, I'll tell
no, you're good. But thankfully, got third place. I was really happy about that. Not only that, just kind of like PRing and then actually making it official to hit 500 pounds. And not only that, making it look easy at comp with kilos. I was like hyped with the badass knurling bar. Like I was like, let's go. But yeah, I was excited about that.
Yeah, because what did you hit in prep? What was that deadlift? Was it 495? No, it was 500.
It was just straight 500 flat. But of course with whatever pound plates we had and everything, and
it's crazy looking back because I did see your last attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Your last attempt way better than the one you hit in prep. Like way
so much
better.
Better.
That was the thing that I was surprised about too, because I'm not gonna lie, I did have a pain. There was like a slight pain in my hip issue that I was having, and that was the thing. No, because what happened was like I couldn't tell what it was. Like I was trying to do my best to do all these hip mobility stretches, everything, because I didn't feel it until I did conventional. I'm probably gonna tell Big Mac don't program me conventional anymore because I felt it like it was. I think it was mostly whenever I felt it a little bit when I walked every now and then whenever I start to bend down, and I was like a little bit worried coming into the TSS meet because I didn't know whether or not I was if it was gonna come back or it might hinder my squat or deadlift.
Mm-hmm.
So thankfully I did some stretches and some dynamic warm-ups before I started to do my lifts. It actually helped a lot because I didn't feel it throughout the whole time. Thankfully, I don't feel it even now, or hopefully it's gone, whatever it is. But I'm just happy that I was able to hit those PRs, most specifically comp PRs, because it makes it, to me, it's like official. Now it's like, okay, you hit it in comp, that's official now. I am a little bit disappointed that I couldn't hit 400 or 300 in comp, but with bench, I'm okay with it. I got 3 for 3. Squat, I know for sure I would have had it if I just fixed those technical issues. But right now, I'm probably gonna start playing around with how I do. Maybe because I did switch it up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I did go from here to like here, so that might have like helped it, messed me up a little bit because with wider, it allows it to sit a little bit more. Yeah. So. Might be the issue, but
you should just put on the bar grip shirt, bro. They wouldn't.
That was the thing. I was just like, if y'all told me, I would be like, hey, I'll be right back. I'll be back in 40 minutes.
I saw that and I was like,
you're not supposed to. And I think he knows too. Like I think he's competed before.
Oh, for sure.
He probably knows.
I forgot who was handling him. It was a person that from
Texas State.
No, it was
USAPL.
UTSA.
Yeah. He goes to Texas State though.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He tried out,
his name was John, I think.
No, that's me. Anyway, no. Oh, so that's why he looked familiar.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
goes to Texas State.
Because I saw it said on the team, I was like, John, and it was in the lighter weight class, and I was like, wait a minute.
What happened?
He don't go, he's not part of my team. Wait a minute. But, yeah, I noticed, I was like, if I had known that, I would have been like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna change my shirt. But then again, I don't know if was it like an all black one or is it noticeable?
No, it was black and it was red on the. Yeah.
Unless they changed the rules, and then I'll be like,
No,
what the
Well, I think they were really lazy with the equipment check because I went to go pull out my equipment and then they were like, "Nah, you're good, bro." But I was cool with the guy because like I talked to him a few times, so he asked how I was doing and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like every other person was like equipment check, and I was like, "What's going on here?"
Mm-hmm. Oh my god!
Yeah. I was like, "What's going on here?"
That was the same thing for me when I did my equipment check. I brought my SVD belt, everything, and then I think my ninja knee boots too. It was just funny because it was the state chair guy. It was just funny. It was just like this. It's so funny. He just looks at it, and then we were there for like a good 5 seconds or 10 seconds, and I was like complete silence, and I was like, "Am I good?" He looks at me. He's like, I was just like, "Why it took so long to say anything?" Unless I just didn't notice, like he said, like you're good, But it's just funny because we just sat there in
there.
silence, and I was like,
so awkward.
so like, how you doing? Like, you know,
He's cool though. He's cool.
he was cool.
Really cool.
But other than that, yeah, it went well. It went fine. I mean, like I said, after this meet, it made me think like, let me try it out right now. I was just like, let me go back to the gym and just do it again and see if I can hit those numbers again. It makes me feel like if I did these things, like, you know, technique wise. Thankfully, it's just mostly technique problems. I was like, okay, cool, like that's fine with me. But we're gonna see for the next meet. I haven't decided yet. I think most likely with what I'm thinking about is the Corrupted Classic that Russ plans on making in October. Just because it'll give me a lot more time to then finish up school. So
yeah. TSS is having one in, I believe, July and August.
yeah, not too long after. Yeah. I know I think there's gonna be another TSS meet. Actually, like the end of April. The one that TSS in San Antonio. Yeah.
Oh.
There's gonna be one in April, and I was just kind of like, fuck it, let me go. No, but well, actually,
Chill.
it's like, hey, what you doing?
That's still 8 weeks from now, bro.
I mean,
She did it in 5 weeks. But
You gotta get yourself an Amazon belt too to go with it. You know
Oh
what I'm saying?
my
Hand me down
God.
sleeves, all of that. No wrist wraps.
But yeah, overall, I think overall, I'm still happy with it. At the end of the day, I'm happy with it. Happy with everyone that showed out. Everyone knows, you know, supporting. Also happy with how it was, I guess, directed and everything.
Wes always,
It went really
I
smooth.
was gonna say, yeah, Wes always does a good job. He's great.
Did a really great job. Everything. But yeah, I was happy to be back there. Yeah. What did you think overall, as far as the whole meet?
oh, dude, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun as fuck. Yeah, especially my squat. That shit was funny. First squat was high. I do admit that shit was high. I don't know why.
Me and Brian.
Did they call it or no?
No,
The right judge. The right judge. It was funny.
Like, no, he got one red, but me and Brian looked at each other like.
That would have been funny if like the judge he called it red and then he saw 2 white lights. He's like, that'd be funny. He looked at both judges and he was like.
But this is where the funny story happens. Okay? First attempt, the right judge it was the left one.
Yeah.
The left one, she called me on that. I was like, all right, I'll give you that one. Second attempt, the right one calls me on that,
No,
and then the left one was like, nah, you good. And I was like, what's going
Make
on?
up
here?
your mind.
And then my third attempt, the center judge called me, and I was like, bro, they're plotting against me.
They were playing a prank. They were saying like, "Let's see if you notice." It's probably because it's like each judge was kind of like, "Oh, I guess that looked okay." So they said the person who gave a red light was like, "No, it was good," and then they were like. It was like, no, it didn't. The next judge was like, it didn't look good. And that's red. So that's why they take turns. They're like, no. Wait, yeah? Okay.
His last one looked like perfectly fine, and we're all surprised. Like,
Minus my elbows on fire.
They said,
God.
oh, they all gave him a red light. Let me give him one too.
Right?
But
I wonder why. It was interesting. I don't know. Because it was pretty low.
yeah, the last one was pretty low.
The last two were pretty low. The first one I do admit that was high. I told Brian, I was like, damn, I low-key anticipated the squat. I was like, bruh.
Wait a minute.
I squatted and I was like, damn. And then I saw a mom in the back. She goes like, wow, that was fast. to like her husband, I was like, man, that was too high. And so it was pretty funny though. It was a fun.
So welcome back from intermission to the Calibrated cast. As you can see, some of us have.
3 hour.
3 hour intermission.
3 hour intermission.
I put on some sweats because it's fucking cold. So we just got finished wrapping up the TSS meet. Great time. It was great. I enjoyed it. You know, whenever I watch other people lift, especially my teammates, it always like really makes me want to do a meet. Like I really get fired up.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I'm ready for C Cup.
Really?
I'm ready for C Cup.
I know, Matt. You said that you're like, I want to
I'm
schedule
already-
competition right now.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I was like, after all these technical issues, after I saw, like, I was already wanting to go to another meet just to fix it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. So all of it, all the mistakes I made was mostly just technical issues. I was like, I already know there's more in the tank. I left, and I I was so upset. I was like, I want to do another meet just to fix those issues.
Same. Yeah, because I was looking at my deadlift during break. Dude, my third attempt was like a second attempt.
Oh, man.
I was so
It's
sad.
like a first attempt.
It was
That
very
first,
bad.
You
first
smoked that.
Because the second attempt was it slower or did he
No.
move up fast?
It moved up fast.
all three.
All of them did.
Were they
Dang.
the same speed each one?
The third one was a little slow, but it was like, still explosive.
Yeah, like at the top it was just a little slower, but the like everything else was just super
Yeah,
quick.
and it just popped. So that's why I'm ready for C Cup. Like we talked about last episode. I mean, C Cup for me is everything's on the table now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
You're searching for that CNAS total.
Yeah.
And you got it. You know, barring any increases in the total. It depends on how much they increase the total by. Especially for the 90 kilo, because that's what your ideal competitive weight is, the 90 kilo class, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So 90 kilo, give or take. I mean, I'll compete out the 100s.
Yeah.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah, if I have to. I mean.
You got plenty of time to shave
Yeah.
off those. What is it, 35 pounds, right? Because you weighed in at 232.
Yeah.
231.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
a lot of time.
yeah.
A lot of time.
I know Alex has. You've talked about going down to 52.
Oh my god. Okay.
Do you think you could swing it or
No. I was thinking about it like realistically,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, when I started powerlifting, like it was me being poor relationship with food already as it is.
Yeah.
So I was overworking myself with exercise and not eating. I kid you not, I was maybe barely hitting 1,300 calories a day. Like it was horrible. And what's it called? I was weighing in at 115, and I remember going to the doctor and they told me I was underweight, and I was happy I was underweight. But like looking back at all the photos, my best friend would tell me, she's like, you were crazy skinny. Like this, it was not good for your body type. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But 115 was the weight that I was at when I first started. And maybe like sometime along the line, yeah, maybe I'll do it. But I was just thinking about it, I was like cutting all that weight, going back to the same weight I was at. I was like, I don't think I'll be able to like perform my best. Obviously, it would be like I'd be a good like competitor in the weight class, but like I'd rather just build on where I'm at right now and like kind of just build as a 56 and like see what I can do. Eventually, maybe go up a weight class just to see where I would stand, but like I do want to stay in the weight class that I'm in, and I'm already sitting around that weight, so it's not the cut's not too crazy. But I think that's something that I would rather just do or at least until I get more like experience with powerlifting, and then eventually if I feel like I'm in a good enough spot mentally to cut to the 52 maybe, but I think I'd rather stay here than have to cut another 10 pounds and be like 0% body fat.
Oh yeah. Okay. But I mean, that was the same for me for this meet. I was just like, should I cut down to 82? I was like, no. Nah.
you were trying to cut to 75?
I was going to
Oh my
initially
God.
until I got COVID, and then that messed thing up. I was like, I'll just stick to 90, and then I guess I'll just, I don't have to worry about cutting. So
Yes.
thankfully, I think that helped me not hindering my strength
Right.
at the meet,
Yes.
for sure. I was like, all right, cool, I'm set. I don't have to worry about that. But now it's just kind of like cutting mostly for just health. General
Right, of
health.
course.
All right, okay. Again, I was like, all right. Usually I'm like 188 and 198. I was like,
All that
I started
bloat.
getting pain. I started getting knee pain. I was like, all right, maybe I should listen to my body. Because at this time, like for a long time, I was mostly just like eating what I want. I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about it. I can eat whatever I want.
Right.
And then, I'm feeling the effects. I'm like, yeah, that burger that I had not too long ago, I was like, yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling all the Kobe, all the In-N-Out,
All the
everything.
Kobe.
I'm like,
The K-pop.
K-pop slap.
K-pop sauce.
K-pop does slap.
What about you, Alex? Do you feel like watching your fellow competitors or teammates or peers, like, does that really motivate you, or do you not have any really, like, you don't need it?
Oh no, for sure. Watching y'all compete is like one of the best feelings in the world. Like people are like, oh, well, like I can't wait to compete, and it makes me want to compete when I watch you guys. But like, it's just like a proud mom moment, type thing. So it's like I see you guys like going out, showing off the work you put out, and like even if like something doesn't go right, you're forced to come back and just work hard, and it's just nice seeing you guys like put out all that you have and like motivate each other, be excited for yourself, because that day is essentially for you guys, like to celebrate yourself and your successes. So it's like, no, I definitely get like a motivating like thing out of it when it comes down to just seeing you guys like compete and do your thing.
Yeah, it's weird for me because like when I did C Cup, I guess because there was no stakes. I think we mentioned this in the last episode, but it was like very nonchalant. I went through it, and like it affirmed to me that I love this sport and I want to do this again. But like, what this meet over the weekend was the thing that was like, that got me more excited almost than my own meet where I was setting my own official PRs, and I thought that's weird, isn't it? Like that's not like I should be more excited for myself, but except that's not the case. I kind of like being part of the pit crew in the back too, making sure people are getting their water, their food, loading bars, making sure people are taking their warm ups. And just being behind the backstage, watching the guys get ready and watching the board, looking at the scores, looking at the lifts. I don't know. There's something about that really makes me like it lights a fire under me. I don't really know what it is.
I think it's just kind of like whenever you're helping out the team and you're helping, even though you're not coaching, it feels like kind of like how like a sports team is. There's different coaches, strength and conditioning coaches, defensive coaches, all those things. It feels like that way because you're helping them out and you feel like you're making a difference in their lifts. You feel like you're helping out. Like with John, you were handling Evan with his and making a big differences with him. With also Alex, you were helping with John too, with whenever he needed it, all his stuff, everything, making sure like he has everything he needs. Because you can only imagine being by yourself, and then whatever like the coach is sending you to text, and you're just like, well, like I don't know what to do because when you text him, he has to be there right away, texting you what you need to do, and I can only imagine the stress that you're feeling before you go on because you're having to do this all by yourself. So it's nice having people around you to help support you, but also help you when you need something.
Right. You handled somebody, didn't you, Alex? At C Cup, you handled.
I kind of I didn't handle her completely. I basically just ran her through her warm ups and like got her to wherever. Maddie, he would call her shots like in between, like because he was back and forth from both platforms. But he basically just sent me all of her stuff and like. We just did it all like in the back, warming up and everything, and I just kind of helped like with just warm ups and then hyping her up and getting her like all ready and whatnot. But no, she did pretty good. But I didn't really handle her. But one day I'll handle somebody.
Yeah, is that something that you're really interested in?
Huh?
Is that something that you're really interested in?
Yeah, for sure. I want to like be able to like call somebody's shots and like do all that sort of thing eventually.
Let me tell you, it's a lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you.
So I like to observe when I'm going to competitions. I observe a lot of what like Brian does and what Maddie does and what every other coach does. Just because I was like, oh, okay, I'll pick apart the pieces and put them together and eventually be able to do it. But I know it's probably freaking stressful. I saw Brian; he was freaking out. Like he's very collected, but like you can see it in his eyes. He's like.
I know there are lifters who've gone all the way to being champions basically by themselves.
Yeah.
And I could not imagine doing that. I know that I'm not going to say that I would have been like I would have fallen apart or anything, but I definitely think having Brian and even Gil in the warm-up room just being there for me and making sure that I was 100% taken care of all the time, like that meant a lot to me and contributed a lot to my success. I believe that. So it's invaluable. Maybe that's why I like it so much. I feel like I'm actually helping. I would hate to be like, like doing something and then like it not helping. Like that's kind of a fear of mine. That's why I don't know if I should overstep and start like should I be the one helping? Like if somebody goes and has clients over there, like there's a guy at this meet. I'm not gonna say who, but there was a guy at this meet who floated the idea of me calling his attempts because he. He was like self-coach or something. Like he kind of flipped this and did it on his own. And I look in hindsight, I probably could have handled it, but I was just so afraid of screwing something up for him, and especially in the warm-up room, just like not knowing what to do and like. So I kind of shrank from that moment. I regret it. I really wish that I had because I think I could have done better than the guy who did it.
Well, yeah, it's like
anyway.
He watches the video.
It's like it's a lot of pressure, especially if it's like someone self-coaching themselves. Like you have to be very smart in knowing how they with a coach being there and understanding, watching their videos, kind of getting an understanding of how they are when you give them RPEs and everything. It's different when you actually see that compared to this guy. It's like, oh, well, how did it feel? Or he doesn't see how he's, how fast he's lifting up during his lifts. It's hard to say. I'll be like, well, it looked easy, but for some reason, if you talk to him and he's like, that was pretty hard. I'm like, what?
Yes, exactly. That's why I think the coach-client relationship is so important. It's more than just programming. Mm-hmm. It's understanding the person, like how they lift. What does an RP8 look like on that person versus some other person, right? Because it's all different. That's one thing I was afraid of is I would be basically calling all their attempts on bar speed alone. Like that would be it. And maybe asking them how to feel. And that to me is just not enough information, right? So I never really was around this person when they trained, even though they're part of the team, we were all in the same gym, but I was never really around this person when they trained. So that's one thing that I think is stopped me from doing that. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you guys feel about that part.
I know John had experience with handling with Evan, but I'm pretty sure it would be how stressful it would be given numbers from a coach, but you don't know much about Evan and getting understanding of how he is. But
yeah, I mean it's stressful. Mm-hmm. It was stressful. Yeah, I was freaking out because I was like, holy crap! Like you're giving me one of the strongest guys on the team. His coach is not even here because she lives in. I forgot where she lives, but it's far.
See this far.
Yeah, it was pretty far, and I was like, oh my god. And so it kind of sucks because looking back, I was like, damn, I would have lowered the second attempt because his coach gave me everything laid out, which is cool, less stressful. But when I saw his first deadlift, I was like, oh no. Mm-hmm. It moved fast, but
it looked pretty.
What was said on paper was too big of a jump. Mm-hmm. And then because it I don't want to say it moved like a third attempt, but it did. I mean, obviously technique wasn't there. Well, this was his words. Technique wasn't there, and then grip gave out because he no longer is hook grips anymore. Mm-hmm. So he just said the technique wasn't there, but I was like, damn, dude, if I knew how he trained, mm-hmm. if I knew, like you guys said, the coach and client relationship, I would have made that jump maybe a little bit less, mm-hmm. and then judge from there. So it is stressful. Going back to what Ani was saying about the being the pit crew in the back, I told Brian as I got the first place medal, I was like, look, we did this, mm-hmm. it's mine, but I want you to know that we did this, especially you too. I told you that she's been there through thick and thin. God. So it was just, I got the medal, but it's also like what stated was in the second episode, I have my small team, mm-hmm. my circle of people, and so we won, not just me. Mm-hmm. So
but yeah, I can only imagine just the stress that Brian was feeling, just trying to handle you, trying to make sure handle with your pain that's going on, tendonitis, everything.
Yes, he was super stressed out mm-hmm. about the tendonitis because I'm telling you, when he's like, all right, can you pick it up? I was like, Brian, I can do this.
And then he's like,
Yeah, he was freaking out. He's like, bro, you're about to squat in 2 minutes, Mm-hmm. So it was funny. I think Elsa has it on video of Brian massaging me.
Literally, it's just but it's funny because I saw the video, right? And the one thing I didn't even I joked about him being on him and rubbing his elbows, but the funny thing is Brian, his serious face, he just looks so like a dad. Like a dad.
He had a dad outfit on too, with the polo and the khaki pants.
That's his coaching outfit.
I love it.
But I think it makes us also just give us have more appreciation for our coaches and all the people around us. Like, it means a lot, because even for me, like, it's nice having, even though they didn't help me too much with people, I know that they were by my side cheering me on. Like, that goes a long way. It makes it a lot better. It makes the experience a lot better too, and kind of calms your nerves too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Knowing that a coach is also there to be like asking you, "Are you okay? Are you like? Do you need something? Do you need me to change the numbers? Are you feeling okay?" And not only that, they can also just gauge whether or not, okay, this person has this much left in the tank, and they can gauge it, and they'll be like, "All right, we're set." So I'm thankful for everyone that was showing up for the meet.
Sure.
It means a lot. It does help a lot, and also it motivates you to do more meets too,
And work harder.
and work harder so that they can see you do better. Because I mean, it doesn't feel good whenever you compete and then there's no one cheering you on.
Oh,
Like, all you hear is it's just straight
Silence.
silence, and you feel bad because it's like you feel like you're just by yourself.
Yeah.
So it goes a long way.
I feel like that's the one thing I appreciate the most, like, about the sport. Like Ani, like you were saying, like, it motivates you to do better, but you really like being helpful, and like that's genuinely what the sport's about. Yes, it's about you lifting and doing whatever, but like, if you're not supporting somebody else and like you're not like motivating for everybody or wanting everybody to succeed, then you're not in the right sport. Like, that's what the sport's about and what I've learned from it. Like, everybody's there for each other, and everybody's there to just push each other to like just keep going. And if you can't get it this time, it's okay, you're gonna get it next time. Like, that's the type of stuff that goes on. You know, like, that's the whole point.
Just like how with the guy that was competing with you, like, mentally it looked like he was checked out for deadlift, and that was the case. We were like, even though he wasn't making it, and then hearing Alice talk about it with us, and we saw him whenever he was doing his another attempt. I mean, there wasn't really anyone really cheering him on, so we were like, let's cheer him on, like, at least have him not bomb out.
Yeah.
And we were doing the best to, like, you know, cheer him on, because it goes a long way. I mean, it's so defeating hearing no one cheering you on, and you're just by yourself, trying to lift it yourself. So at the end of the day, we appreciate our coaches. We appreciate everyone who's handling us. It goes a long way.
Even if you're carrying the lifter snacks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It means a lot. It means a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that like nobody succeeds by themselves, like, really. And there's always, I like to think of it like a guy in a chair. You know, he's like, okay, you know, now you go this way, you go that way.
Yeah.
You know, there's a guy on around the corner. You make sure you kill him. It's like nobody ever does anything by themselves. Like, there's always a support system, and like, it's necessary. Like, in order for you to succeed. And I think people would like to think, especially in a sport like this, where yes, it's only you standing on the platform, right? And ultimately, it is up to you to succeed, to pull the weight, to get the total. And I don't think that like admitting that a support system is valuable is like diminishing your achievement in that regard. If anything, it enhances it.
Yes.
Because, you know, it not only that, but it shows that you have like the ability and like the ecosystem for growth, you know, and like it surrounds you. And I think that people who like disagree with that, like, or think that, you know, because it's a single sport, you don't need anybody, it's just you, and it's just the tunnel vision. I think that they're lying.
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't. Oh, sorry.
No, you're
They don't know what goes outside, like during prep.
Exactly.
Nobody knows. I mean, unless you post, obviously, but it's like you don't know what's going on behind closed doors between you and your coach. And for us, like our teammates and all that, you know, supporting each other in the gym at practices and all that. So, yeah, for sure.
It does go a long way. And yeah, you're right. They are lying, because for sure, like, everybody has some sort of support,
Right.
whether or not they realize it, even if it's minimal. You know, like, they have some sort of support, and they'd be lying if they said they didn't have any at all. Because like at the meets, especially, like, random people be handling other random people.
Right.
That's a form of support.
Yeah.
But shout out to everyone that came by. Shout out to everyone that, especially Wes, making it go so smoothly too. Not too many hiccups that went by. Even though there were, they handled it very well.
Surprisingly efficient.
Very.
So yeah.
Except for my lip offs.
Oh man. But yeah, it was a great meet overall.
Just kidding.
No, just kidding. It was a great
1,400 total, man.
It was a great meet.
No, it was for sure fun.
I also look forward to everyone that's competing at the next C Cup too. Look forward to seeing that and seeing y'all grow and doing better, especially.
I know. Fortunately, you will not be with us. Technically, you might. You're gonna show up. Though,
He's gonna
I'll be there.
He's gonna
You'll
make
be
our
handling
edits.
me.
We're gonna have to pay him now.
Hey, $20 for an edit?
This is where our budget goes to.
Ice cream.
That's where all the food goes. I was like, just give me snacks, I'll be good. Give me snacks, energy drinks, I'm good.
I still have that clip of you eating all the snacks.
Yeah.
I also have a video of him in the corner eating the pastries.
Yeah.
Bro.
He was like,
This is how we pay Matt. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm set.
Oh, it's great. This is a very good.
But do you have is it just mostly C Cup you're just looking forward to as far as that's your next meet, or is there another meet you want to do in the middle?
well, I mean, I'm putting it all on the line at C Cup, then C Nats.
Mhm.
So
everything that's the next meet for sure.
yeah, the
Okay.
C Cup, and then I don't want to think negative, but if nothing goes well, I don't know what's after C Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So
We won't even cross. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Won't even enter into your headspace.
Yeah, no, for sure. But a C Cup going all out.
Yes.
So that's
And Matthew.
Next meet more towards the Russ's Corrupted Classic for sure. I think it's gonna be fun, especially with the fact that not only the merch, but like
hey, caught me a shirt.
no, it's like it's hometown. Also, I feel like the vibes are gonna be nice too, with Russ being there. Especially he's gonna be I guess maybe co-directing it with Russ too. I mean with Wes. So I would be interested to seeing it, like how it would be. Especially I don't know whether or not it's gonna be held at the gym because it's pretty small. So I think what they said they're gonna have a venue at like a hotel, kind of like a conference place.
Okay, yeah.
So I think that would be fun.
That's where my USPA meet was at. Was at a hotel conference thing.
Yeah.
You're a USPA?
Yeah.
You didn't know that he was.
Yeah.
That's why you live so much.
Oh.
That's as far goes wrong. But speaking of which, I remember we were talking about with the USAPL versus like USPA and stuff.
Oh yeah, the All-Star game.
Compare the two. I know you've done USPA meets, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think you would do if you did a USPA version of it with a deadlift bar, squat bar, right?
Like how
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think like it would? How much of a difference would it make? I know. I feel like deadlift for sure.
A lot. Like a lot. Yeah, because the whip on that deadlift bar, man. After 405, that whip is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone who says no, that's a lie. Like 405, the whip hits you hard. So imagine like 500 plus.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, stay patient, stay with it. Yeah, like it's gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe not pulling more. I don't know. It's hard to say because I would have to readjust like technique and all that. But for sure, it'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The squat bar. I mean, I don't know if it really plays.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes a big difference because it's just 10 pounds on the bar. It changes.
And it's
the weight.
thicker, right? I think so, right?
Yeah, it's thicker.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
but I know the regulations are different from hand form because I know in USAPL you have to have all fingers now
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
versus USPA you can have like
Eagle grip. And everything.
So I mean, other than that, I don't think it plays too much of a difference.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you could lift it a little bit more for sure. I mean, I can only imagine if you did the same weight for your third attempt with a deadlift bar.
Oh, dude, that'd be crazy. I'm actually curious how much.
Forklift.
I wonder how much I could have done yesterday.
I'd say 540 was in the bag at least.
540.
540 for sure.
At least.
Was my vote.
551 would have
That
been.
did.
That would have been.
Brian would have been like.
I would have had you pull 530 as your second though.
Well, we didn't know. I mean, we want to.
I mean,
be on
I know because you were cramping up a little bit after.
Well, Brian's gonna know now. Brian's gonna know now.
Sorry,
you already
Brian.
said it. You already said it.
Sorry, Brian.
Exposed yourself, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I was cramping, but it wasn't too bad. It was more like leg drive for bench. So,
Yeah, that's what you were saying earlier.
But ever since, shout out to Evan, by the way. Evan, if you're watching this, the man's a genius. So I think it was within like a week and a half or like a week out. This man spent maybe 30 to an hour of helping me with my deadlift, and it's a game changer. It's absolutely a game changer. No
Shout
more.
out to Evan. We miss you, man. We're gonna miss you.
I know.
Is he graduating this year or is he already?
You already did.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he already was.
But man, we're gonna miss you, man. Thank you for helping John.
For real. For real.
'Cause that
Even he said that shit moved like a second attempt, and I was like, no.
Damn.
So.
All you, Evan.
No, but
Thank you.
I'm excited to get Evan on the podcast. Actually.
That's gonna be fun.
We're gonna
I'm
talk
gonna
about
love that episode.
Talk about conjugate everything.
He's
on,
in
man.
here without his shirt, without his socks.
I would love to take us rant about training philosophy because that dude.
It's switched. I for sure know it's switched definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
Well, we talked about our meets. The next one, who's competing, sitting right here, Alex. You're a month out. How are you? What's your mental like right now? Like, do you need to get mentally prepared, or is it kind of like you coast in and you're just kind of just grip and rip, do the damn thing?
What I need is a therapist.
Well, is that for the meet or is that for other
That's
reasons?
both, but no. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, C-Cup, I was freaking out. Like, I mean, I was stressed. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm competing. And I'm obviously very excited when I compete. But I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to make sure everything goes right. And I ended up going like 7 for 9, which was not my goal. I was like, I'll go 8 for 9, hopefully 9 for 9. I wasn't gonna go anything crazy.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you miss?
They called my last squat on my depth, but it would have been an all-time PR of like 248.
Okay.
And then my bench, my third one, it was just pure fatigue. Like I was already done. And it was that one. I think it was 147, which was my third. Yeah, that was my third attempt. I was like 147 or 143. It was 143, and I just bombed out. Like I was done.
You didn't bomb out.
Well, okay. Well, bench it was just basically.
I got you.
But deadlifts, I got all of deadlifts, and we were gonna like full send the last one, but I told my eyes like I don't want to miss it. Like I was like, just please, just keep it conservative.
Okay.
But no, like I'm excited for Nats. I'm not like I'm excited for the experience to see my like competition, because I'm gonna be benching. Or biggest thing I'm worried about is bench, and like my deads and squat. I know they're like mediocre, but like my bench, I'm like, oh my gosh,
Apparently,
like
collegiate nationals
qualified.
qualified.
By the way,
memory
she got.
walks in, does her openers.
It must be nice.
Yeah, she walked in, did her openers.
And got best lifter.
Got best lifter and first place, and just walked out.
I'm trying to be like you, my boy. No, she's super sweet, but
Just like how we were talking about, like, man,
Meanwhile, we're struggling.
competing about no one. It's like you're competing against no one. It must be nice to just go, okay, bench the bar, get a medal.
get a medal.
Oh yeah, that was my game plan for this meet, but I was like, nah.
No, let's do
And
come.
like, cool, got it.
No, but there's girls like that are competing. Like I was looking at, I peeped the totals. They've got, some of them have close to 900 totals, and that's way over mine. 900 totals. So like doing the math, that's like close to 400 squat, close to 400 deads, like well over 2 or close to 2 for bench. It's insane, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. But I mean, it's gonna be fun because like I'm not like necessarily intimidated by those girls. I'm inspired by them. So it's like it's gonna be me going and me fangirling as well as competing like amongst them. But like I'm excited. I think I've been just like tracking my macros and stuff for the most part, just making sure I'm like staying on weight, so I don't have to cut seriously when the meet does come.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like it's just like school. If anything, if I'm like stressed, it's usually just like schoolwork. Oh my gosh. But no, I'm not like freaking out about this meet surprisingly, or it hasn't hit me yet. It'll probably hit me when I'm like on the plane, like. Oh my god. Start hyperventilating these paper bags.
Pilot, can you turn this plane around?
Can you
turn around?
No, but I'm not like super scared. I'm just excited to be able to like do that. And then eventually, after years maybe of training, I'll get to that point. But no, I'm just excited to just compete, and cause that's what I like doing. Like I like competing and all of that. But I'm just really excited to be able to compete next to those females, because there's some. They're strong as hell, and I'm trying to be just like that. For sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it feels good when you reach, like, the qualifier. When you qualify for it, it's nice, because it's like, you're worthy enough to compete against these people.
Yes.
Yeah, you might not hit numbers above them, but it's like, I'm competing with these people, I'm competing against them, and they consider me, and I qualified and trained hard enough to be able to do so.
Right.
So it's like, man, I had the opportunity to do so. Yeah, I might not win first place, but hey, I made it.
Exactly.
You know. And not only that, it's your first one. I can only imagine going to the next one, seeing how much more you can do.
And the next one.
And the next one. And the next one.
They don't raise the totals.
You act like you're not gonna raise with them.
Gotta keep up.
But you have time.
Yes. Thank you.
Says the person who in 1 year got
I know, right? What the fuck?
Maybe even less than 1 year qualified. And it's like, oh man, I've never reached it. It's like, oh yeah, it must be nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, it took me 3 tries. I had to do it 3 times
Oh.
to get
But
it.
not collegiately.
Huh?
Not collegiately.
Like,
Yeah, you were in high school and your first.
No, but it's crazy, like, thinking back, because when I first joined the team, 93, I think the total was like 1360 something for qualifying.
Damn.
And what, 2.5 to 3 years later, it's like 1430 something.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
People just get stronger and stronger, like, as time goes on.
Those
Also-
QCs go up so fast.
Yeah. Also, like, the popularity of the sport. Now there's more people.
Yeah.
The growth of it. There's more people trying to, do the same thing. And all these people, like Russ, inspiring these people to do so. Be like, why not? Try it out. You never know your, genetic potential. Try it out.
Right.
And now they're raising the bar because there's a lot more people who can hit that qualifier.
Yes.
They're like, well, damn, we gotta keep going.
Right.
I mean,
I think it's a good thing,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, it just, when the floor is raised, so is the ceiling. And it just, like, I don't know. Like, some people get upset, They get upset, like, I would have hit the qualifying total if they didn't raise it. But it's like, like...
okay,
Work a little harder.
then train harder and try to work up to it.
Yeah, if it was easy, and everyone and their moms would qualify.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I mentioned it in the second episode, but, like, I talked about Candido and how he had the longevity to make it there. But, like, his qualifying total, like I said, the total that he won Worlds with is not even the qualifying total anymore.
Yeah.
To get to nationals.
That's how much it's grown.
Yeah.
That's how much the sport
So,
has
like,
grown.
a world record holding total at one point is now just not even a QT.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
That's how much the standards have gone.
And like, I think that only makes the sport better, to be honest.
Yeah.
It makes it more competitive for sure.
And it's interesting. It's interesting, like, how people back then, like how you said, Candido had where he won with that total. It's interesting how, like, that motivates us to raise it even more.
I know.
It's crazy.
It was only like 14 something, I think.
That's the crazy
Think about
part.
it like that. Like, there are people on our team who are like,
Yeah, I think it was like a collegiate total.
Yeah.
Like now.
Mm-hmm.
if that, right?
Mhm.
So, like, that's just crazy, man.
Mhm.
I mean, I love it, but yeah.
I think it just builds the competition for sure.
It does.
It does.
So speaking of competition, do you survey your competition a lot? Like, do you check on them on?
Yeah.
like,
Do you stalk them?
No.
I'm
No.
just-
Deletes my search
I'm
history.
just wondering because there are some people who like I don't want to know anything about anybody else, right?
Oh,
I just want to go in there and I want to do the thing.
I'm the
And then
opposite.
I'm just sitting there just to have fun.
like for me, I didn't look up any other 120s before I went to C Cup.
Right.
I just kind of wanted to. I just went and where I knew I was gonna be bad though.
Oh
like
my
I knew that I was gonna be bad.
You
So
didn't
like
do bad.
I got second last. So okay,
Bro,
chillax.
I
Hey.
think I got second last.
Second last, but not last.
Yeah, period.
Oh my god.
But like, do you do a lot of like, looking at the roster, like, who am I going against? Who am I going against? Let me check out what their lifts on Instagram. Let me follow their socials. Let
The
me...
only person I looked up was this girl that pulled like an 838 total, or had an 838 total, but I couldn't find her. But other than that, no, I really haven't surveyed my competition. Like my first, like the circle meet, I didn't look. I didn't even look. I didn't know how to look at the roster. Like
You didn't look because you didn't know how.
I didn't know.
Oh
Like
my
I didn't know
gosh.
lifting cast was the thing, and like I didn't know any of that. And then C Cup, I looked up one girl, and that was it. And then cause she was, when I had looked, it was just me and her in the weight class like so far. And I looked, and I was like, oh, okay, like she's pretty strong. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn. I was like, kind of. It was a motivating thing, but I was like, for this one, I just looked at like, I didn't look them up on Instagram, because I was like, I'm gonna psych myself out. But no, like I don't really like. I stalked one girl for sure at the last competition, not naming names, but no, I definitely stalked her. I was like, damn. I was like, okay. I was like, yo, look at her Dylan. Look how much she benches. Literally,
Nonchalantly.
He knows, like, because I was always like, man, I just watched your story today. Like, you need to see this. And then it was bad, but no, like I think. I would psych myself out if I compare myself to them too much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, this one I'm just leaving just to be completely blindsided. Like, horse blinders up until when I get there type thing.
Yeah. I think C Cup, I'm going to do that. C Cup, because I don't really care about winning or getting a
Right, you just want the QT.
I just, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll be nice.
Now you're second guessing yourself. You're like,
Yeah, I'm
okay,
like-
shit.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Maybe. I don't know. Because I want the QT for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh my
God.
We'll come back to that on a different episode.
That competitive mindset will come out. Watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
It's
because
gonna
like I
come
feel
out.
like it's competitive to a certain extent. Like there was something like
bro,
some
it-
people. I see 52s. 52s are crazy weight
Mhm.
class, to be honest. There's like I see a bunch of 52s on my TikTok, on my Instagram, like reels and stuff, and they'll be deadlifting 315 plus, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my gosh, and they're USAPL, like they're raw, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I think it's like sometimes it's just you psych yourself out too much. You're like, oh well, I should be hitting that already.
Mhm.
Like, oh, why am I not there type thing. So it's like, yeah, to a certain extent you can stock your comp.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure that you know when to like hit the brakes a little bit.
I mean, that's it's like your mindset will change. I mean, like I said, I told y'all like last episode, I was like, oh, I'm just there to have fun, you know. That's it, all that. Then you see me on bench after hitting my third hit. Let's go.
You start screaming.
I mean, yeah, because like I said, like I was looking up this guy. I was like, oh, okay, like he's pretty strong, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's what helped me with my deadlift as well. That's what really like.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, like let's put in sixth gear. Like let's go. Like we're here to lift.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what also just motivated me. So I guess it's like it's a good and it's a bad thing. You know, there's a such thing as too much. You know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For C Cup, maybe we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Like I said, that's for a different episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I tend to like you said, like that comparison thing that you said really rang true for me because there's a lot, especially for me, because I have such a high standard for myself, and like
Sick.
I will look at somebody in my weight class and like 9 times out of 10, I will be like I should be where they are. I should be better than them. I should be lifting X. I should be lifting Y. And it's like, it's hard to not think that way, I think. Because, like, especially when you do have that high expectation for yourself. Like, I believe that, like, one day I'll hit a world record total. Like, in all-time world record total. Like, I believe that one day. Because I'm not going to stop lifting. I'm not going to stop powerlifting. And I'll be doing this when I'm 50, when I'm 60, when I'm 70. I'll be a fucking 80-year-old with a walker, just coming on there and just pulling some deadlifts. Right, I'll be one of those guys that you see on the gram, 90 years old, still being able to deadlift 300 pounds. But like, I feel like it is a double-edged sword because on one hand, like you guys said, especially when you're in the moment, I feel like when you're in the comp or like a week out, it's like you're already in that mindset, a competitive mindset. Mm-hmm. You're already in you're in prep mode. You're hitting the singles now. It's time to go, and like that. Like, being in that headspace can motivate you to see the comp, see what their singles are looking like, see what their triples look like. But, like, when there's nothing in the horizon, I feel like it's just detrimental. Like, now you're thinking, like, man, like, this guy benches, like, 405 pounds, and he's a weight class below me. Like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm fucking worthless. Stop. Or like, I've been lifting for 5 years and I haven't hit a 500-pound deadlift yet. Like, what am I doing? It's such a I'm such a terrible lifter. And it's like, so yeah, basically, I feel like I'm honestly, unfortunately, more the latter than the former. Where it's like, I guess I keep saying it, but like I was so nonchalant going into C Cup because I knew that I wasn't gonna place. Like, I knew it, because like my lifts are not great for my weight class. They're actually below average for the weight class. So I figured that I'll just go in and I'm doing this for me, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I feel like I don't know, it's just hard. It's hard not to compare yourself to other people, especially on social media. But like, yeah.
No, I feel like what's it called? Like, I always preach this to literally everybody. That like your mentality when it comes to lifting plays such a big part in your lifts. Because for the longest time I plateaued. Like, the longest time.
I hear this every day.
He hears it the most for sure because he needs it. But no, like, your mentality in lifting plays such a big part in like your progress, your peak, your everything. And people can say what they want, but like the way you come about lifting, like whether it be with your own PRs or your own like small barriers, like just treat it as like something to celebrate regardless. Like, if like 105 moves good for bench, I'm like, okay, cool, like it moves good. Mm-hmm. But like if 105 moves like shit, and that's like what I'm supposed to be doing for reps that day, I'm like, oh my god, like, am I gonna let this body me, or am I just gonna body the weight that I have to do for that day? So it's like, yeah, you can compare yourself. Like, I compare myself to a certain extent, but it's not to where like, oh, I'm not good enough as a lifter. Like, you can't say that. Like, I was like that for the longest time, and I wasn't getting anywhere. Like, that energy was just not bringing me anything when it came down to like lifting, my confidence, my strength, like, at all. And then people were like, you gotta stop talking about your lifts like that. And then I'm like, why does it make a difference? And like, you'll see it one day and you'll thank me for it later. And as soon as I stopped dogging on my stuff and I just started to just like work on little things and I like give myself credit for little things, I was like, oh, like, this is moving. Mm-hmm. And you have to give yourself a little bit of credit because like you haven't been like, how long have you been powerlifting? Like, what?
Well, powerlifting specific for like since I joined the team. But like, I've been lifting since like 2018.
But it's two different.
It's two different things, like, completely. Cause like,
not a lot of powerlifters do German volume training out the gate.
You're just a different breed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you gotta understand that you're still pretty new with your powerlifting. Like even like people who have been in it for like a year, 3 years, 4 years, that's still can be considered new for some. There's people that have been doing it for like 10. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but they didn't just get there by like dogging on themselves all the time. Yeah, you can be hard on yourself, you can have high expectations, but like, you don't fail just because you don't meet your expectations for that day. It's about just like being like, okay, look, I'm gonna have to just adjust the standard for a minute and then we'll get there when it gets there, you know, type stuff. Because you realize you're human, your body's gonna like every now and then. So you have to just be patient, be kind to yourself up here. And you'll notice a PR just be like, just up there. But it's like, I feel like that plays a big barrier, especially with you and your lifting, because y'all are very freaking similar, and y'all sound hypocritical when you're like, hey man, you're not weak. And it's just like back and forth. Like I'm in the middle and I'm watching them argue, and they're like, "You're not a shit lifter." Well, you're not a shit lifter.
It's like that Spider-Man meme.
That's what it is. And I'm just standing here like, bro, I don't know what to do. And I was like, you're being hypocritical because you're telling him he's a good lifter and he needs to stop talking on himself. And then he's over here telling him the same thing, and I'm just like, here big chilling with Andrew, just like, man.
Well, it's the thing. Like, I want you to realize this too. It's like, I wasn't this good as you say I am. I just got this good just recently, and I've been powerlifting for ever since I joined the team. It's what, like 2.5 years, 3 years? No, 2.5 years. The first year, this meniscus, fucking a minor tear. You know, the year after that, completely dislocated this kneecap.
Your knees, bro.
Yeah. So it's like, the only thing I had that was decent was my bench.
Hey, me too.
And so it was like, so we're kind of similar, you know?
We are.
Like,
It's kind of eerie.
yeah.
A little bit.
So it's like, just give yourself some time,
Mm-hmm.
especially with Ryan too.
Put a mirror right here.
Oh my gosh.
Me and Matt just chilling like.
So it's
I
like,
mean, yeah, I understand too. Like, I received like actual powerlifting coaching like about less than a year, because I just got with Big Matt in August. Or maybe in September, and that was like the start. And I remember January of last year, I hit 405. That was my PR, 405 on sumo, which was like narrow stance.
Oh yeah.
Not even froggy.
Not even froggy.
It was basically like a
That's what I was
close
like,
hand conventional deadlift.
Oh my god, I want to see videos.
But
it was like a Garrett Fear, when the OG Garrett Fear, when he used to pull like this.
so that's
I know
the thing.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like it's gonna take time and being patient. And now after this comp, I'm like, yeah, I'm just being patient, going with the flow. Everything's gonna take time. That's how it is. You just take what you can out of that day, because at the end of the day, you don't know what you went through that day. You didn't get enough food. You had to work. You had enough food, stress,
Like
all those
here's
things play a role into the day of whenever you're working out.
Right.
Like I feel those days like, okay, well, did I work today? Yeah. Did I get enough food? No. You know,
Right.
I felt bad that day. I'm like, oh, you know what? That's probably the case. So, like everyone says, some people say, stay in the pocket. Just take what you can that day, but it will transfer over. RPE, everything, yeah, it will transfer over. Just take your time.
Yeah.
Like I think John, you said it too. The powerlifting sport? It's not sprint. It's a marathon.
Literally, and like it's not excuses. Like saying like, oh well, I had work today. Like it's not. Because like I worked a full-time job my first prep, and it was exhausting. Like I mean, I'd get home maybe at 11. I wouldn't get to bed till 12 or 1, and I had to wake up at 6 the next morning. And it was just repeat. And I was telling my coach all the time, I'm exhausted. Like he had me put it on like a scale, like how stressed I was and how fatigued I was by the time I got to the gym. He was like, we're taking that into account, and I was like, okay. But you have to realize like there's gonna be somebody that's your weight, your like height, your build, whatever, that's either going to be lifting more or less than you, but it's like they're either on a different journey or different chapter in their lifting like journey, or they've got like genetics like fucking Mandy. She eats everything and she's still like jacked.
Built.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
and
a
I was
tank.
like, and I don't have those genetics. She literally has said she eats like Mandy. She eats like dog shit. This is what she told me. She was like, I eat
Drink
like
dog
shit, man.
Dog
And
water.
And she's like, but it just looks like this. That's all it is. And I was just like, that's crazy. But I was always comparing myself to her. I was like, why can't it be like that? And she's like, girl, like I eat everything, and I just burn it really fast. So it's like you can't compare yourself to some people, even if they are in your weight class, because you have no idea like what kind of like issues or what kind of like where they are exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because they might have different circumstances than you, like whether it comes to like work or support system or like having an access to like a good gym or like a good membership and all of that.
I mean, yeah, that's
No
So that
shots.
face
No
mask.
shots.
No shots.
I mean,
Love you, Dan.
I agree. It's like you take what you can out of that day and take what you can with what you got at the end of the day, because you might not have the best equipment. You might not have to. Some people might not have to have a full-time job. Like those people, there's some people I know who have full-time jobs, but they lift like crazy. I don't know how they do it, but they're just you just adapt to it.
Yeah.
That's it. As simple as that. There's people in worser situations that are doing even way better than us.
Right.
That's another thing too. So take what you can. At the end of the day, just wait until calm. It'll be there.
It'll be there.
Take your time. That taper is gonna hit nicely. I mean, it
Oh,
hit for me.
like me.
Freaking out. Like, I mean, this man was like full on like freak out mode, like was pissed. And I was like, okay, you're worried for nothing. Like, literally, I've been saying like, you're worried for nothing.
And then after comp,
Yeah. First, like, walks out with a gold medal.
oh.
In a different weight class.
Respectfully.
You call that like that TikTok?
But
Oh no, this is the end. I'm not gonna make it. Anyways, gets a gold medal. Anyways,
but think about it like this. Life is like a deadlift.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm in. I'm good.
You can either rip it and grip it, or make it look nice, be patient, and it'll come up.
Yeah,
I don't know
like,
where I was going with that.
would you rather cap back your deadlift, or would you rather just like
Exquisite.
exquisite,
exquisite.
elegant,
Take your time.
like Nolan squat?
Oh my god.
Man.
Think about it.
No, it's pretty, it's beautiful.
My gosh. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going back to what you said. I don't know if it's hypocritical. I just think it's more of a do as I say, not as I do type situation.
That is the definition of
Is it?
hypocritical. Yeah.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
It's not. And I'm not
Yes, it is.
intentionally misleading him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just need to listen to what my own advice, I guess.
Period. Queens. Queen shit.
Oh man. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, so you're going back to you being a month out from Nats, surveying the competition. You kind of don't want to do that for this meet. Where are you're about to start your singles,
Yes.
right? Are you excited about the
I am
singles?
stoked.
Actually,
I'm like,
tomorrow.
Man, I wish I could do that right
I'm
now.
so
Hey, you can.
excited. You can. That's what Izzy did after C Cup. She deadass came into the gym like 2 days later and PR'd or tried PR and everything.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
I'm gonna do that.
For real?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my back some healing though.
Dude,
Give some time.
You know what, Brian? I think we're just gonna take a deload.
yeah, no, I'm excited for singles. I got new SBD singlets, so I can't wait for like RPE. I usually wear them on RPE 7s. I don't wear them on 6s.
Yeah, sixes are like not even openers. It's
Yeah.
like
I just miss the feeling.
It's just a build.
And it's a new one, so I'm ready to show it off in like my
Right.
deadlifting socks and everything. But
Do you know if Big Man's gonna train? Like, what's your peak looking like? Do you know if he's gonna make any training adjustments? He's gonna start pulling accessory volume, or does he not really discuss those kind of things with you beforehand?
No,
or-
last prep I pretty much kept my accessories the same. Like I still I've always gone really hard on my accessories. You know this. I've always busted butt on my accessories. But with we did have to switch the intensity and volume for both my squat and my deads because of my hip. And I honestly think that's what was bothering it like the most. That was because I was doing a lot of volume with sumo, froggy, or whatever the fuck I do, and squat.
You were
Good one.
conventional for a minute too.
I was conventional for a minute. My lower back said no. But what's God? So we're just gonna treat my froggy like a conventional. So we're gonna make the intensity higher and then lower the volume for my back downs. And for squats, we're probably gonna decrease the volume just to keep my hip intact for Nats. But I'm excited for singles because I know that I can PR. Like I've been waiting for this moment. Not just like not PR, just like all out, but like on certain like bench. Like RPE 6 is it's gonna move. It's where I've seen the most progress, and I know that like even at RP 6 or RP 7s, maybe 7s, I'll probably see like a big PR, just as like an ability PR. So it's like for last prep, I hit 135 for like a 5 or a 6, and that was like just a PR in general because like that was my max. Like I mean RPE, that was grind time. I have the video. It was the longest bench of my life, and it was when it moved like a 6. I was like, oh my gosh! Like I know that that's gonna be a lot of this upcoming like block or whatever. Hopefully, but for my bench. But for singles, I'm just happy that I'm not going to be having to do like top sets of 4 or 6 or whatever the fuck
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to enjoy back downs because it's not going to be 3 sets of 7 or 8.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, no, but I'm excited just to hit singles, wear my singlet. We gotta make TikToks in our singlets.
Oh my god.
But
social media influencer.
Period.
Are you Luna Lives?
Oh my god.
I've gotten that once in my life. I'm not kidding.
Oh yeah,
I was going
you told
to the
me.
rec and some guy was just like, "You're Luna Lives, right?" And I was like,
how do you know?
Wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. But yeah, no, I'm excited just to see. I'm nervous a little bit just because of my hip. I don't want to have to switch to conventional again. It's not that like it's horrible or like I'm not cap backing it, but it just feels like I'm cap backing every single conventional pull I do. And like my back is just not strong enough. Like respect to everybody who pulls conventional, but it's not for me.
I think I'm the only one in this room that pulls conventional.
I just like because I worked really like a really
I pull it.
time. You do?
For variation days.
Oh yeah, it does. I remember I
RDLs, does that count?
right? No, because I worked really hard on my my form. Because going into C cup, my froggy form was like my hips was not. My hips and my shoulders were moving at the same speed. My back was rounded basically like the whole freaking time. And we're just like, at that point, we were so close to being to C cup. And he was just like, dude, you're just going to have to let it like be for the next couple of weeks. We're not going to be able to fix that much. And I was like, okay. So like all this, like the off season, all prep, I was just like watching other people who pull froggy, watching their videos, asking for help. And so I put a lot of time in. So when my hips started bugging, I was like, here we go. Like all that work is just out the door. But I was like, it's okay. It's all about adjusting. So we went to conventional. Now we're just going to see how decreasing in volume and increasing intensity goes. So hopefully it sticks because I'm excited to pull froggy. Because people have been asking me, they're like, you're the girl from C cup that pulled that weird stance, right? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
You're a star. Look at you.
I'm gonna notice.
No, you're not.
I noticed you. It's okay.
Everyone's like, cool. How are you?
I think it's just because it's more popular and like I've seen a lot more men pull froggy than I do
What is
girls.
this like? Only men can pull
I
froggy?
mean, men can pull froggy. Well, no,
It
like
goes both ways.
like Angelo pulls froggy. Who else pulls froggy? Freaking Joe pulls froggy. I think.
That's just J-Bob.
Huh?
That's just J-Bob.
Oh.
Yeah, he does that too.
That's
Yeah,
a bob, by the
But
way.
I haven't seen a lot of like girls pull froggy. Like I don't know her name, but I did see one girl on my like TikTok pull it, and I was like, oh yeah, you pull the
I don't
same.
think. Yeah, I don't really know that many.
But
girls
I don't
that
know that many girls that.
I know
pull
for
it.
sure sumo, like
Wide sumo.
wide sumo, and then they're mostly. I see mostly like heavier weight girls doing conventional for sure.
You have to if you're heavy. You can't. I've tried it. You cannot pull sumo if you're.
That's why I wanted to cut too.
It just your leverage
Froggy
is
is
absolute
like-
ass.
Froggy, let me tell you, it's like an ab crunch. It's like, plus with the belt, you're like,
Yeah, for real.
Oh, especially after gaining like 10 pounds from like 188.
because you have a lever belt,
Ooh,
right?
I was like,
He's got an SBD
Oh, I get that.
belt.
well, that was for squat. It helps.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah,
For
it
squat,
adds a little spring.
But for deadlift, I tried doing it for deadlifts when I had my SBD belt. I was like,
Yeah, the lever belt, when especially when you gain weight, that shit don't just like you're just like fuck.
damn, I don't have the flexibility anymore.
That's why Brian wants me on prong. Because
Prong
belts?
I'm gonna get a prong eventually.
Yeah.
As well.
Yes,
Like,
people say
I
it
switched-
helps.
Yeah, for that one, that's why I decided to get the Pioneer belt. Because not only that, with the SBD belt, since it's by an inch, like the inch helps.
Oh hell yes.
Like by half inch, I was like, man, I can't. It's either too tight or too loose with the SBD belt.
That's right. Yeah, that's what was messing me up too on my squat. I didn't tell this to Brian because I was just like, all right, maybe if I start munching on these sour
The
strips.
amount that Brian did not know about this meat.
Well, because I thought I got
Sent
it.
him all the clips from
Literally
this
just all
about
of them.
Brian. And
Brian's gonna be
not telling him.
driving or with his girlfriend. He's gonna be like, son of
This motherfucker told me shit.
No, so like I was like, okay, let me drink some water, dude. Oh my god, I drank too much water. I had to pee so bad during my squat.
That's what I'm telling you. That was the key for
Like-
you. You had to go so bad. You want to get it done real quick.
Yeah, and so it was funny because I put my belt on. I was like, oh my god, I can't brace. Like I can't just.
That's how I feel every time I squat. Like it feels like I have to pee. And like I can drink a sip of water and have to go.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It was just I couldn't brace because it was too loose from where I had it. I was like, what the fuck? I just had this like on, and I was like, I did go pee, and it was a lot, but like I didn't know it was gonna.
And it was a lot.
I didn't know it was gonna make this much of a difference, and I tried to put it like.
What you normally do?
No, before that.
Oh,
but
okay.
that was too tight. Like I was like, oh fuck, I
Oh,
could
yeah.
kind of brace, but like fuck. So
It's
it was
almost
just,
like the belt braced for you when it's too tight.
yeah, pretty much. But
Don't worry about that.
it's like I don't know. The prong belt for sure comes in clutch. It's like
Yeah,
what's going on?
Oh no! I
Brain
was like
Titan?
hearing noises. I was like, oh.
He's like,
No, but the prong belt does help. I wonder how people think about it when they're squatting, because sometimes people squat in prongs.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it just depends on the person preference, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
I mean, just when I got my SBD belt, I was just happy it wasn't. It was on belt.
Oh, she was like,
oh my god, it came again! I was so excited.
well, I feel the same way about people who deadlift in SBD belts. I don't like our deadlift in 13mm belts in general. Like I just don't. Know.
this is my only belt, bro.
Right,
I spent $250. I mean, I gotta use it.
Actually, 264 with shipping.
with
I think
shipping
it's
everything.
267 now.
Oh yeah, maybe 267.
But like, I think it's helpful for those who are like are thinner. For
Well, yeah.
For sure, if you're thinner and you don't have much,
Bro, I'm bruised right here. I'm all bruised. Like it's bad.
when you don't have much part of your bench, you're just kind of like, oh, that was the same. That's what I noticed when from this, not this meet, but the recent meet at the rookie meet. I was like, I used the SBD belt. I mean, it helped a lot because I didn't have much of a waist around me, so I was like, all right, I'm set. But now after gaining this weight to go to to the 90 keys, I was like, I gotta get a prong belt because this is not gonna work. I literally, as soon as I set up for sumo, I'm like, damn, it's tight. Gosh.
So are you gonna stay as a 90, or are you just gonna get a prong belt for the culture?
I'm still gonna use my prong belt just because I'm very specific with mostly for deadlift.
Yeah.
I'm very specific of how tight I want it.
Mm-hmm.
That half inch does help a lot.
Every half inch matters.
That's what you said. But we'll make that. But yeah, like the SBD belt, as far as right now, I'm gonna cut a little bit of weight now that I'm finally done with the meet. I'll try to just kind of build more, build my muscle and everything, but slowly gaining. Just because I can feel my joints, so I'm like,
Yes.
that's the main thing.
That's the side.
That's like the most thing. That's the thing I'm looking for the most is just able to walk to the bus stop without just going. Because it's bad. Like I'll get on the bus and I'm like, and I'm like, fuck, I'm fat. I'm like, God no.
Not only that, like losing weight, and then also the fact that like after this recent with my class reading blood pressures, I'm technically like stage 1 hypertension.
What?
And I was just like,
Not even I'm in stage 1 hypertension.
it's mostly because of I think it's my diastolic, yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like, you see me out here like walking, and I'm sitting here like.
I've definitely noticed that though. Like,
Yeah, we can go in and out.
My fucking, like when I was in like cross country and everything, like my resting heart rate, my like everything was like so much like lower, and now everything's like, I'm like you said, walking to the bus stop, going upstairs.
As a powerlifter.
Don't even.
Yeah.
But I can't run like mad because I did try running and I ended up getting really bad like shin splints and like ankle pain and like was gonna go and lift more, but he ended up snitching on me and like was like, bro, she can't even walk. And I was just like, okay, but you know, he was like, no running until after prep, and I was like, okay, so after prep, I think I'm gonna, you know, like keep up with lifting, but also do more cardio.
I remember seeing that too. I was just like, I remember seeing the clip of her running. I was like, did Big Mac say that was okay?
And I was like, ooh.
Ooh, yeah, I remember.
It was so bad. Like I had to take my little sister shopping. Like, oh my god, it was the longest like 3 hours of my life. I kid you not, I couldn't put pressure on my like plantar flexion. Not a thing for me. I was literally walking like this, and I could not put.
You want to increase for J's?
That's literally how I was walking. It was so bad. It was so bad, but I mean, I miss like running and like doing all that. But
Yeah, fuck running.
No running. As you go to walk to the bus.
Shit, I need to run. Nah.
God. But
Can't all be Sebastian.
no, man, it must be nice. But I mean, I think with this weight cut for sure, it's gonna help a lot. Not only that, with the not seeing my belt and then having to go down more, I'm being like, I can't wait.
Right?
But
It's like, fuck.
I was like, yeah, I remember I used to be down here.
Dude, oh my god, I'm so sad. Because when I got my SBD belt, I was like in the middle. I was like, damn, okay.
I was like,
And then like, now I'm at the last hole, and I'm like, fuck.
I
This
lose
is
this
not
weight.
okay.
It's like, man, I gotta lose this weight or I'm gonna have to get a
You
larger
gotta
belt. That's another 250. Hey, anyone wanna buy this belt?
oh my god.
No, I think I'm gonna keep that belt for sure because Pug signed it, Tim signed it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
keep on seeing Joe and forgetting to ask him to sign it.
That is true. I always see him all the
What's up?
time, and I'm like,
Joe
yeah.
didn't sign it.
No, Joe didn't sign it because that day
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
He was handling. Yeah.
But-
Y'all have nothing on me, bro. You see that closet I showed you guys, bro?
Yeah.
How many clothes? I can't wear any of them because they're too small.
Man,
I'll take
give
a
it to us.
Charity. Case.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I should
Let
not say
me give us
I'm
your
not
whole
ashamed to
gym
say
chart
it.
collection. Come
We
on.
got you on video.
Oh
Good job,
no!
You can't say no.
No, I can say no. It's my clothes. So.
He's
No,
like
but I
Calibrated
Alright,
cast
cut,
costume
cut,
coat.
I mean, I bought those clothes because I anticipated being shredded by now, and I'm not even close. In fact, I'm going the opposite direction.
It gives you more motivation if you
You
give it
think?
to us.
Oh! Is
Yeah,
that
we'll
right?
wear it
Is
around
that
you. We'll
right?
wear it around you, so
It's-
you're like,
oh,
damn,
no.
okay.
It's
You'll be like,
I want
we're-
that shirt.
We're wearing it too, even though if it doesn't fit us, we're like, we're wearing it.
Yeah.
It's a crop top. It's like, yeah, Ani. Yeah, Ani, you like your shirt?
Some friends I have, I swear.
It will motivate you. You'll be like, I'm shredded to the point where I can have it back now.
Yeah, you'd be like, yeah.
Now I gotta ask you for clothes. No.
And then you're shirtless and you're asking, oh man, we'll be like, yes, Master.
Yes, sir. Here you go. Here you go. You deserve it. But oh man.
Oh
my
man.
gosh.
So, you ready for CNETs? You think so?
I'm ready.
Mentally,
I
physically,
am ready mentally.
emotionally.
Physically? Emotionally? I don't know. Man. Looking for a therapist. No. Freaking emotionally, yes. Physically, we'll see. Mentally, definitely, I'm excited to compete. I just want to PR on someone. I don't mean like, I just want to go 8 for 9. That's the whole. Just,
Well, not even perfect. You want to go 8 for
okay,
9?
look.
Hey,
Perfect
not everyone
circum-
can give
Not
good handles,
okay.
alright?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
There's some room for error there. Is what you're saying?
No, because I'm like him. Like now, I like really light lift offs, and like the moment somebody just like yanks it, I'm like, I gotta set
Wait,
up.
but I
again.
yank your lift offs. You don't. You said that
He's
I was
like,
okay.
Oh,
You
oh.
know,
I don't.
we had a discussion. We're like, barely.
No, you did mine pretty good too.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. He's like, no, of course you don't.
At least not as bad as the guy who.
Okay, we're not gonna go there a third
Oh, man.
time.
But
3 times, bro. I was so
But
specific.
yeah, it does leave a lot of room for error. It's just like, okay, sometimes it could just be technical issues, or just you just didn't have it that day.
Yes, I just do not. I just want to go at least 8 for 9. Hopefully, I don't want to like sandbag everything, but I definitely like. I don't mind a grinder. I can grind through something. Like I've been working in my accessories. Like if I'm going on, he's just like they're yelling at me. I'm like on dumbbell incline, like. But literally.
I got it on you.
That's literally the case too. But I was like, I've been working on that because that's like my biggest thing. Like with sticky points, I'll get like super tired. I'm like, okay, I just give up. So I'm just like, nope, just keep going. But I just definitely want to hit some meet PRs and hopefully all-time PRs because that would be dope, especially if I got to do it at Nats. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it too.
Did you PR at your meet?
I did.
All-time PR?
I would say for comp for sure. Bench, yeah, for sure. Comp PR, squat, comp PR, deadlift.
That
I mean,
was
technically,
all time.
yeah,
It was
by
all
1
time.
pound.
By 1 pound.
Stuck out.
The gym,
That was me with my squat. It was a 1 pound all-time and comp.
and I'm like, I'll take it. I mean, it makes me feel better just because I've done it officially
Yes.
at a comp. Rather than being like people saying like, oh, you just did it at the gym.
Is it a gym PR?
Gym PR,
Doesn't
all
PRs
right.
don't count.
It's not like it doesn't weigh that much. All right, cool, I guess. But yeah, it's
People will look for any reason to invalidate you.
Period.
That's what I found. And I don't really understand why. It's like, you know,
okay. Then do it.
again, why would you tear down what you could build?
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of that, one more thing I wanted to talk to you about is like your passion for lifting, but not just you for your passion for hype. Because whenever you go to a gym and Alex is there, inevitably you will hear her at some point in time screaming for somebody. She will be there'll be a very distinct voice coming from a corner somewhere when somebody's going to attempt to lift, even if it's a PR or it's not a PR. So I want to know like where that came from.
Originally.
And
Yeah.
like how you developed this sense of like, you know, wanting to just be the hype woman for everybody in the gym and like because I kid you not, you're the only person, I'm sure not in the world, but at least in as far as I've met, who will literally, without hesitation, hype anybody up at any time for any reason.
Well, I think that, like, first of all, thank you for appreciating that. It makes me feel appreciated. But my mom was, like, a super, like, hype person. Like, she would hold parties for the Cowboys, even though they sucked ass. Like, at the time, it was bad. Like, they were all-time. She'd have parties, and, like, she would scream at the top of her lungs with all of our, like, family friends there. She's wearing, like, her drip, her t-shirt or whatnot, and heels for house shoes. And she'd be, like, screaming at the TV. And I would be there, and I'd be like, Mom, stop. Like, it was like, this is a lot. And she was just always like that. And in, like, middle school, I didn't really, like, I was super kind of, like, not super shy, but I was pretty shy, and, like, I was always outgoing, but as it pertains to, like, my volume, I wasn't very loud until I got into, like, softball and everything. Like, once I joined, like, a team, I was like, oh, like, you know, I want to, like, you're in karate and stuff like that, we'd yell for each other, it was just different. With softball, it was like, oh, we're all screaming, and I was like, okay, like, it's okay to be loud, like, it's not that big of a deal. But I would say she was definitely the biggest person. I was like, okay, yeah, I want to be like that. Like, that was fun. Regardless if I told her I didn't want her to be like that, I was like, it's kind of something I appreciated. I was like, it's just funny. But after being on teams and, like, having bad experiences with teams, whether that be, like, them not being supportive or people trying to, like, tear other people down, it was like I found that people who were yelling for me, it made me feel better, and maybe it's not the case for everybody. But I was just like, especially when I got into the gym, I saw it a lot more. Like, at my gym, I saw it a lot more. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's okay to be loud. It's okay to, you know, have fun with this. So I just kind of, like, just took it and rolled with it. And everybody always, like, appreciated it. They were always like, no, like, thank you. That really, really helped. I think the first time I was like, oh, like, it actually helps people is Elizabeth. Shout out to EB Strength. Go follow her on Instagram. She hit her all-time PR at 185 in, like, I think it was in kilos at the gym. It was the first time I was training at heavy metal, I think. I was PRing on bench also. I was hitting 135. She was warming up with 135. And I was like, she was going. It was a grinder. And I was just screaming at her. She goes, that was for you. She was like, thank you so much. I fucking appreciate it. I was like, yeah, of course. Now we're like this. But it was just like, after that, I was just like, no, I just want to be everybody's support system, you know? Like, And maybe I don't follow all y'all on Instagram or like comment on everything, but it's like I can be supportive of the gym. I can be loud, and like you never really know who needs it. I guess my mentality is like it doesn't matter if it's like heavy or not. Like everybody still needs support at some point. You don't know if they're having like a really shitty day, so it's like I'm just gonna put the good mojo out there and hope it rubs off on people to be supportive, because I don't want people to be like, oh, like they're lifting more than me, I'm intimidated, or like just have like basically egos in the gym. I guess like that's my way of like keeping me in check and like, oh, I'm being supportive. I'm gonna keep being supportive, and hopefully it rubs off on other people to do the same with each other, because we need more people like that in the lifting industry. Just more hype and more like support for one another, rather than But yeah, no, that's why. But thank y'all for realizing that. It makes me feel appreciated.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it makes a big difference, especially with the team too. I think it brings us a lot. With that type of encouragement towards other people, it does allow us to encourage us to do the same for them too. Because at the end of the day, we're a team, and I feel like we want to, motivate them to do better. And mentally, it does help a lot. Even if we don't know what they're going through that day, sometimes it could be a really bad day for them. But that one time you do that for them, it makes a whole difference. I mean, especially at comp, it helped a lot. Hearing everyone cheering, all that. Just having that feeling again, you just want to do the best, and the competitiveness comes out. You're just like, yeah, I want to do better, compared to just hearing nothing.
Yeah.
You're
just
we talked about that before. About,
okay.
You hear crickets. It's just almost
scary.
demoralizing. Yeah.
And then it makes me feel bad whenever like we go to comp, and you just hear these lifters going, and then no one's saying anything, no one's clapping anything. So it's nice to be like, if you, like with Alex, sometimes it'll be quiet, and it'll be just some random person lifting, and then you just hear, "Let's go!"
And it's not even pretty too. It's like ugly. It's like
ugly, but it could make a whole big of a difference for this person. So, it definitely placed the influence on the team to motivate everyone, no matter how much you lift. Really, I think it helps a lot, and I think it definitely has everyone else like kind of looking up to you to be like, yeah, I want to be like her. I want to be like motivate everyone I see. So
stop. Well, I mean, it's just like it's more of like a lot of people don't like. I don't think people realize like how much like it takes to like lift. Like I understand like the emotional aspect of it, and like because like when I was going like when I tell y'all like be kind to yourself, like it's not just because I say it to say it. Like there was a time period where I wasn't like giving myself credit at all, and like I wasn't getting that hype until like I moved gyms and I found like a good support system, and they would all do that for each other, and I was like, okay, like it's okay to be myself, it's okay to be loud. There's nothing wrong with being excited for other people, whether or not you know them, like because that's what lifting's about. You're just being there for everybody's little like milestones and stuff like that. And it was just like growing up, like you always want that, you always want that support system, and I was just like, yelling is just my way of supporting people, and it's just nice. And I mean, if I can rub off on people, then yay! But yeah, no, I just hope it rubs off on like a good amount of people, and for them to do the same for just each other and themselves, because everybody deserves to hype themselves up. And have your little hype moment.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it makes the most difference, especially.
For sure. Cause it's like when it's all quiet and stuff, you're just like,
what is this?
There's nothing
a golf
going
tournament?
on.
Come on now.
Just like.
Yeah. I mean, we're all thankful for that.
Aw, I'm thankful for you guys. I mean, I wouldn't be able to like be here without you guys. I literally, oh my gosh, I talked.
Because we invited you here.
Damn, you
Alright.
me out now.
Starts
honey. Starts walking out.
Cut the camera.
Here's the thing with me. No, freaking, what's it called? Y'all helped a lot. Like, I don't think you realize it. I always, when I go back home, I'm always like, man, they're like, oh, how's so-and-so doing? They're like, I'm surprised you remember y'all, but I talk about y'all so much. They're like, oh, how are your, like, Texas State buddies doing? Like, how's Ani, and how's Gil, and how's John, and how's Matt? And I'm like, oh, they're doing so good. And, like, just because, like, y'all have helped out a lot, because even, like, not just lifting, just, like, in general, support outside of the gym. And, all of that. So it's like y'all yell at me in the gym, and then like out the gym y'all yell at me out the gym. But y'all give your support in every way, and that's why I'm like, okay, well I got more to give. So it's just I look up to y'all, and I'm really grateful to have you guys. Would not feel as confident if I didn't. I'd be like, but no, for sure. Like, I love being supportive, and sometimes it can be draining because like you don't get that same energy back sometimes. But it's like at least I know I'm like giving out, like good energy rather than like putting out bad energy. But it like I always. At the end of the day, it always feels worth it because of people like you guys. So, I wouldn't be here without you guys. Starts crying. Matt's just like in his car. John, when he's driving. Lonnie, when we leave.
Oh my gosh. What?
Well, is there more?
Any closing thoughts?
No, I think that's
Well, on that very tearful and
positive.
just emotional, positive goodbye, or moment, we would like to say goodbye. We're very grateful for you, not just, for coming on here and being willing to talk for almost 3 hours about yourself, but also just for you in the gym, you on the team. I think the team is better off for you being a member. And I think...
as a person.
Yes.
As a person.
Y'all gonna make me cry. Stop.
The team wouldn't be the team without you, Alex.
But
That's why you were the first guest. And
it wasn't a coin flip?
you snitched, bro. Oh my god.
I'm
been
joking. Oh my god. That should be the intro, like what you start off the video with, like, oh, we're so glad to have you as
I
our
was trying to
first
be
guest.
heartfelt, bro. I can't believe it.
On that note,
Now I just look like a fool, bro. It's like,
anyways, on that note,
Oh my god,
Thank
no.
you for watching and listening.
Thank you for having me.
thank you for coming on. Taking your time out of the day to come on. It means a lot. It was a great talk. Talking about the meet, talking about how you got started, and how you started powerlifting, in your little origin story. I mean, overall, I'm happy that you're on our team.
Oh, I'm happy with that.
And I'm looking forward to y'all's success too, as I'm gone.
You're not gone. You're forever in.
You're
Forever in.
Forever
You must
in
stay.
our hearts.
Team Matt.
Stay.
Team Ivy.
Stay.
Stay.
Team William. Team
That's
Team
William.
William.
So other than that, any other closing thoughts?
No.
I'm ready to wrap this up.
Rather wrap it up.
This has been the Calibrated Cast. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel, which I guess is William's YouTube channel.
I mean, for now.
It's
For
a
now.
figure
But,
out where this is
We're in the
Yeah.
process of making
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
I know I said by next episode, but we haven't really talked about it because of the meets, which,
Yeah.
understandably took priority. But you can follow us on Instagram. You can always follow Texas State Powerlifting on Instagram at TXST_powerlifting.
Damn, he knows that whole handle.
I do know those. You can follow John.
At Latissimus__prime.
You
Matt.
can follow me at Villiam. However you pronounce it, VILLEAMM. You can follow Alex.
I don't know my handle.
Luna Lips.
Luna Lips.
Luna Lips.
She don't even know her handle.
With a Z. I
With a Z,
believe.
yeah, I thought there was a period in it, so I was checking. But
Luna
no, it's
Lips
just
with a Z. And you
And
can,
you can follow Ani.
you can follow me at SXBERTOOTH_ or Sabertooth with an X_ on Instagram. And with that, ladies and gents, I think we've concluded episode 3. We'll see you in the next one.
Stay Gucci and Gucci.
Beachy.